Since I win money.
The emotional hedge.
Otherwise, my team wins. I can't lose.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the future of joint pain relief, and it's here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine, and it's amazing stuff. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, well, don't be so fast to go there. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. And we're talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. Play pickleball, go for a walk, play golf, play with the kids. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and you want to stay in motion. And QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. All you have to do for a free consultation, call 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options. What we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing, but lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
More at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Ram Power Days.
If you're looking for a new car, truck, or SUV, this could be the best time of all. Expect great sales and service when you buy from Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. We've got the pickup you're looking for. Drive a brand new Ram 1500 Classic and get 10% off MSRP. Get financed at the best rates available and save even more. Nothing compares to a new Ram truck. You get power, comfort, reliability, and all the performance you need in a new truck. 1500, 2500, 3500. We've got them. If you've never driven a Ram, now is the time.
See our inventory at jackswest.com.
Last call for Dodge Charger. Get yours today and save up to $5,000 off MSRP. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, I-295 and Commonwealth Avenue. Westside.
This is Brent Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKB Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jacks weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Raiders defensive end Chandler Jones is now being held on bail in a Las Vegas prison. Jones was arrested today and charged with violating a domestic violence protective order. The Cowboys host the Patriots Sunday. Ezekiel Elliott comes back to town against his former team. The Cowboys are 2-1. Kevin Burkhardt from Fox Sports.
Mike McCarthy going back to doing something he's done his whole career, right? Running that West Coast offense and kind of keeping things a little bit more simple and conservative for Dak and keeping away from the turnovers, which I get. But the fascinating thing to me is what has made Dak great is his explosive playability.
Kevin Burkhardt on Carlin versus Joe. It's the last weekend of baseball's regular season. The Rangers clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. They clinch the AL West title with a win and an Astros loss. The Diamondbacks clinch a playoff spot with a win or a Cubs loss. The Blue Jays clinch a spot with a win and a Mariners loss. Team Europe dominates the first day of the Ryder Cup, leading 6.5 to 1.5.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up on Monday, I'll tell you all the small things I saw this weekend that you need to know. It's on Sportsman Like, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Well, we're really going to do this thing. We're going to try it all the way from London tonight on ESPN 690. I say tonight because it is tonight for me, but it's this afternoon for you. I don't know what the hell time it is, but that's okay. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. We are in central London right now, and Jags have hopefully hit the pillow because they're probably exhausted. And they had a practice today, just a short one, about an hour. And now walk through tomorrow, a couple of appearances tomorrow, and then a game on Sunday. It's amazing how quick this trip goes to get to Sunday's game and really how little gets done in terms of football because Friday and Saturday are normally light days anyway, but it seems like a lot because it's fresh, it's new, and it's an 8-hour flight across the Atlantic Ocean. So that's where we're at, guys. We caught up with Evan Ingram. We'll have that conversation a little bit later on. Trevor talked today. Doug Peterson talked today. Calvin Ridley talked today. Devin Lloyd didn't make the trip. Jamal Agnew's got a little bit of an injury that might keep him out this weekend, although it's tracking like he'll play. Zay Jones is not going to play. And we'll see what else brings us Sunday at Wembley Stadium. But hello to you guys.
Hey, Brent. You talk about that 8-hour flight. I'm thinking, man, if that was me, Case, I'd be doing some high knees in the aisleway.
A little Russell Wilson situation.
Russell Wilson situation for sure.
Brent, any high knees while you were in the aisle?
No high knees. I was just telling Kasey, I was like, I had it's a plane we take all the time. So this is a plane that sometimes I think goes to like Dubai and other places. Ooh, it's like a corporate outing kind of plane. And that's the one that Jags have been using this for a while. And you've seen pictures. I've tweeted some. If you follow on Twitter, it's like Atlas is what it's called. And I think my doorbell just rang. Did you hear that?
Yeah, we heard it. We were wondering the same thing.
You got a doorbell in the hotel room. It is a fancy hotel. Jeez.
Go get the door.
Now I'm curious.
I don't know if that was me.
I might have sent the strippergram to your hotel instead of the studio for Casey's birthday. That's a mistake on my part.
They might be telling me to be quiet already. Hold on. You guys take it.
No
you guys
way.
take this. I'll get
How
the door.
funny,
Hold on.
Case. How funny would it be if Martineau opens up the door and he gets a wood shampoo from the police in London with those little bobby sticks? Because, they don't carry guns over there.
Should we listen into Brent's conversation with the door?
Ooh. Only if he's giving out personal information. Nah, you can't really hear it.
Well, they're conversating. Something happened.
Yeah, someone should tell him he's got a radio show to do.
Anyway.
He's sitting there being a nice neighbor in his hotel room answering the door.
How great would that be if it was his next door person? They're like, hey, you need to shut up, my guy.
He's not even talking that
It's
loud.
like 8 p.m. and we're sleeping over here. Hey, Bert, how'd it go?
It was good. You scared me a little bit because it was a nice lady at the door. And she was, I guess they're clean late at night because asking if we needed any cleaning service.
Weird.
At 8 p.m.? Isn't it 8?
It must be a big hotel.
9?
I don't know.
Maybe it's 7? I don't know.
So it is 8 o'clock.
Oh.
No, you're right. It's 8 o'clock. So
That's a weird time
yeah,
to
that just
clean.
happened. That was surprising.
That was.
But
I just checked in like 2 hours ago, so I don't think I've messed anything up yet to be cleaned.
They identified you as somebody who's dirty.
Or either that or I jumped. This wasn't cleaned before I got in here, but it looked like it was. So back to the plane ride, and Weber didn't. He already left, right? So he usually sits next to me. We're on like the 4 seats in the middle, and Weber and I are in the middle 2 seats, so not on the end. And so we have a familiar party that sits in those spots all the time. Well, Weber's not there, so we knew we were going to have a little room. And then the person that usually sits to my left, he wasn't showing up or there, and he's usually there before me. So he's with the Jags and does their communication stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like, I'm going to have 2 seats, right, wide open. Well, then, like, I'm calling him the mechanic because I'm not really sure, like, that's his title. But I didn't have a lot of conversations with him either on this flight. But he's like the last person on. Oh, no. He's the last person on, and he's like the first person off when we land. So he's got to be like part of the flight crew in some capacity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this dude's got like bags, 3 bags, and he's like, they're like landing on the seat after he misses putting them in the overhead to start. Like he's hustling to get on, because we're taking off. He's like loud guy. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. He's working hard, and now he's sitting down. I'm telling you guys the whole flight, and I'm not a flight complainer.
Oh no!
But if I was, like, this would have been a tough one. I mean, I got hit by this guy like trying to sleep or trying to eat like 50 different times.
The worst.
And I'm like, I'm already like halfway in Weber. I'm halfway in Weber's empty seat anyway, and I'm still getting hit by him.
That's tough.
And I was like, man, what is going on here? He's got like no awareness.
No etiquette.
There's no awareness going on.
No manners.
But, and but I'll tell you this, now you get a meal on the plane, he also ate every last bit of whatever was on that plate. Because
I'd done the same thing.
That fork was hitting that plate. It was gonna clean that thing. They didn't have to clean that plate later. I'll tell you that.
Now I feel like you're being picky. You said the fork was hitting the plate too much, Brent. Come on, he was just enjoying his
Brent
grub.
is a fancy man. He gets to get on the plane. Unfortunately, he doesn't rank very high with the team because not only did they put him in the middle seat, they put him in a double middle. They were like, not only do you get to sit next to 2 people on either seat, you get to sit next to 3 people on both sides. But all right. Brent had the opening, but yeah, I'd be right there with Brent. Guys clanking a fork on a plate. Everyone's trying to sleep on this flight, Case.
That's it. See, that's the thing. You're supposed to try to sleep on this flight. So I'm trying to sleep, and I'm getting hit and nudged and everything. And then there's a little – you wouldn't have liked this, Aaron. There's a little coughing going on. Okay, there was a lot coughing going on.
And Kasey doesn't like that. Now, don't go that on me because Kasey had a conniption yesterday with coughing at the press conferences.
Yeah.
I didn't really mind so much. I realize people have to cough every once in a while.
Brent, who was just trying to survive at the Mike Caldwell press conference? Were you there for that? Because that was unbelievable.
I didn't. Nah. Somebody almost lost it, huh?
Twice. And it was only a 14-second soundbite. They couldn't hold it for 14 seconds, Brent. What a disaster. But your guy was coughing, huh? That's tough. That's tough. Maybe the same guy.
All right, forget about my flight. Hopefully that guy's not on the plane right back.
Wow, that's kind of harsh, Brent.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about that. I was like, geez, it's gonna be snug on the way back with Weber in that other seat.
Brent's like, I'll fly Delta. It's fine. I'll just connect 3 times.
Yeah, I'll fly.
Catch a boat.
I was very. Next time I'm gonna ask him questions because he was trying to sleep. I was trying to sleep, but I'm gonna ask him questions. Like, I wonder what that guy does. Like, does he just fly right back, or is he going to be on is he staying here for 10 days and then flying back with us? I mean, that plane probably takes 5 other trips in between dropping us off and picking us back up to go home.
Yeah, it's like a week and a half in between those flights. I'm sure that guy's got other stuff to do.
Yeah, interesting gig. I always find that people have some, I don't know if it's odd jobs, but it's an interesting job, like that you really don't think about. Well, here's the job we talk about, the Jags players. And guys, Jamal Agnew banged up, Zay Jones obviously out. This receiving core that does have depth all of a sudden hasn't been playing as well as we wanted it to, and now has some injuries. You guys concerned about that?
I am a little bit concerned, but not that much. You still got the main guys out there who are going to be pass catching for Trev. You still got roughly the same core out there. Granted, you'd love to see Zay out there. Zay's a big part of what they do, but I think it's going to be okay.
I am no more concerned than just the normal panic we've had this week. It just kind of fits in.
Yeah.
Where are you on the panic meter? Because you know what's been pretty wild to me is I think as we've panicked about the Jags being 1-2 and everything else, what also has come about, and more you dig into it and the numbers that you like to talk about, Aaron, but everybody likes to talk about, is Trevor Lawrence's performance. I mean, I think I saw a tweet today somewhere like he's like the 8th ranked player grade-wise in the National Football League right now.
Overall,
and I know not everybody
wow.
likes those stats, but yeah, overall, that wasn't just quarterbacks. So, I mean, he's grading out well. Again, I'll say my eyes say he's playing pretty well too. There are some people that don't think he's playing well enough. I think they're out of their minds. I just don't think he's getting enough help. And I think that's a positive story for the Jags, although you could turn it into a negative because you're like, well, what if he has a bad game all of a sudden? He's been playing well, and they're 1-2, and their offense has been clunky.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds, as a matter of fact, that is really the nightmare scenario if Trev starts to get the yips or plays on a bad streak or, God forbid, has to sit out a few games with an injury or something like that. Then what are you going to get? That's why this offense really needs to start rolling. If for no other reason, forget about the fact that time is running out on the season, but you can't just hang it all on Trev's shoulders. It's going to be a big mistake for the team like that.
Yeah, well, it's okay to be on Trevor Lawrence's shoulders. It's pretty obvious other people have to do better as well. And could we see some changes coming over these next couple of weeks with the offensive line, with Cam Robinson and whatever else? I saw some grades. I did not like the grades on these interior linemen for the Jags. I mean, you have to start thinking about that. This is a 3-game sample now with Barch coming off injury. They're not going to do anything with Sheriff. They really have no other way to go with Fortner, and they're invested in the rookie. I think they're invested in Harrison, but you just wonder if they try to find a better mix because some of these numbers are not as good as I thought maybe these guys were playing from time to time.
Funny, Brent. All you needed was the grades, I guess. The PFF that we make a fun of a little bit. I said, Kasey sees it. They can't block nobody. Brent's like, oh, it's fine. Now he sees the PFF. He's like, it's a disaster. Come on, Brent. Have some faith in your boy.
Listen, our eye test has said nobody's sitting in Jacksonville and saying the offensive line's playing well, right? I mean, Walker Little, the numbers actually back up what our eyes tell us. But again, I feel like the interior, sure, but even the right side of the line has been more the problem that's caught my eye. But it even shifts into that left side with a guy like Barch. And I hadn't been talking about that as much, Kasey. I've been a little more concerned with Harrison. Why isn't Sheriff playing as well? Fortner's been leaky at times, and we knew Barch wasn't perfect, but I think right now he's graded out to be the worst guy, and I just don't know if my eyes told me that he's the worst guy on the offensive line through the first 3 games.
Well, I think it's harder to see the problems on the offensive line right now with the fact that Trevor is holding the ball like at a ridiculously low amount of time. I think he's second in the league with time he's holding the ball right behind Tua. If you're going to be behind someone, that's a good guy to be behind right there. But I think it does mask some of the issues going on with the offensive line, specifically in pass pro. Now, in run blocking, there are other issues as well, and we've talked about it. And I'm not sure that Cam Robinson coming back immediately corrects either of those issues, but it certainly upgrades the line from a talent and experience level.
Let me ask you guys this. Last night, the Lions beat the Packers 34-20, looked good doing so. And obviously the story in Jacksonville continues to be pass rush, the comparison of Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson, which is a fair one, by the way. There are some times that you're like, that's a little unfair. No, it's a fair comparison. They were picked 1 and 2. Both were keenly interested in you would think, both players, even the Lions. Like if the Jags had picked Hutchinson, I think it came out after the draft, they would probably have taken Walker. I think that's what they said. But they were definitely interested in him, you would think, from stylistically and what they wanted to do and position of need. But it's bigger than that to me. The Jags really should be compared to the Lions overall. We were up there for a week when the Jags practiced against them. I thought the Jags looked better than them. But right now the Lions have it cooking. They've won 2 Thursday night road games, and they've won 3 out of the first 4, they're doing exactly what the Jags were supposed to be doing. And by the way, there was hope that the Lions would do this too. But I think it just adds to the frustration. Hutchinson, Walker, Jags, Lions, 3-1, 1-2 guys. The Lions all of a sudden are kind of this measuring stick for the Jags at the quarter pole of the season.
It was a little like that last year too, where we were looking at the Lions and the Jags and thinking to ourselves, maybe these are kind of similar teams on the ascent. I remember when the week of the game that they played each other, we kind of debated, who would you rather be at this point? Would you rather be the Lions or the Jaguars? And the whole Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson thing only added to that conversation because of the fact that those were the two guys that were debated at that number 1 spot. By the way, Hutch leads the league in pressures right now, leads the entire NFL over TJ Watt and all these other guys. Just letting you know, cases. No big deal.
Well, that is just fantastic.
Sorry about that,
Aaron. Thanks for reporting that. Lions are, what's impressive is, you said it, Brent. I didn't even really think about it until you said it. 2 road Thursday night wins in 2 tough environments. Like, the Packers are, I think they're decent, but not everybody does. Still a tough place to play.
Sure,
and then
absolutely.
you won at Kansas City, and it wasn't super pretty, but you still won. So, yeah, I would agree with you that that's kind of what we thought the Jags were going to be doing.
Kasey, they are doing something. I'll add to your point. First of all, they don't win in Lambeau Field ever because the Detroit Lions hardly win anyway. So they also got over that. So it's not like the same old Lions. They continue to deflect the same old Lions talk coming off the surge of last year at the end of the season, even though they missed the playoffs. And then you're right. They got the big win on opening night against Kansas City without Kelsey, without Jones. Some people asterisk that up. It was a heck of a win on Thursday Night Football against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and on the road, to your point. So, like, they have done a lot. They have checked a lot of boxes already in this season. But the thing that I think they've checked more than anything is their defense is so much better. So much better. And Hutchinson's a big part of that. Brian Branch, another draft pick, a big part of that. And then they do what I continue to bark about this week that the Jags aren't doing. They control the game, guys, with their offense, their ability to score points, their ability to move up and down the field. They have playmakers. Jared Goff continues to play well in usually mistake-free football over the last year. That's what I need the Jags to do. Control the tempo of the game, control the pace of the game, dictate the game. And I think because the Lions are doing that, you're seeing an improved Lions defense, but you're also seeing the Lions defense play better because of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but the Lions were supposed to actually have more playmakers on defense. They ended up losing, I think, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson earlier in the season, which was a huge addition to them in the offseason. They're also not getting the pass rush pressure from the other side of the defensive line like they had hoped to see last year when Aiden Hutchinson was being double-teamed. They're still not seeing pressure from that side of the line. So still room to grow for the Lions. And the fact that they don't even have their true, what they hope, is eventually going to be their wide receiver 1 and Jameson Williams even on the field, even getting major NFL reps since he was drafted, just shows you how much higher this team could possibly ascend. All that stuff we were talking about last year, this offense built to move. Lions are certainly showing what it can do.
Kasey, you know I love Doug Peterson, and I think this staff has been fantastic for the Jags. I'm not here to criticize them. I criticized Doug a little bit last week. I thought he's the guy that has to turn it. He's the guy that has to fix it, much like we did last season when I said, hey, you got to get them over the finish line to win football games. But I have an affinity for this coaching staff. I think they've done a nice job with the Jaguars since the time they got here. But I just think what Dan Campbell and that staff are doing is remarkable. Like, it's noticeable what they're doing. And I guess, Kasey, that stems from Jared Goff. I mean, they're saving Jared Goff's career after it looked like he was kind of done or going to be just a journeyman, and even McVay and the Rams didn't want him after going to a Super Bowl.
Just like I told you guys, Jared Goff is good. But it is surprising with the Lions coaching staff. Like, do you remember Dan Campbell? Remember the evolution? They lost a bunch. He cried. You remember that?
It was a little messy.
They were biting kneecaps.
Yes. That was original. That was like the first day he was biting kneecaps.
And that's true. He was biting kneecaps before he cried, and then that whole thing.
But this year he wanted to bring a lion to the sideline.
And now he's like the dude. Like, I would imagine.
He was the dude last year. He was in the top running for Coach of the Year all year long, whether the Lions were playing well or not.
He was, but now they're winning, so now it's easier to be the dude. He's like got to be the early return for Coach of the Year.
It's a good staff, too.
Yeah, it is a good staff. I mean, Mark Brunell's on that staff. Got some other familiar faces on that staff, and they're just doing a good job. Yeah. I mean, no matter who it is. Yeah. Well, and Glenn's a big-time coaching prospect to begin with. And then they do, again, offense, I believe, dictates play, but they do have a dynamic player right now in Hutchinson. He is quickly becoming, I don't think he's yet like the TJ Watt, Nick Bosa's guys, but I do think he's kind of like the Max Crosby ilk. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know how high his ceiling. I don't know if he's ever going to get there. But, again, he's dominated the last 2 games. So
well, if he's
that's
leading,
really what we need, man.
You said he's leading the league in pressures, right?
He is. Currently, he has 19, which is, I think, one above TJ Watt and Max Crosby, who are both up there as well.
So, and they're not getting any push from their other side, you're saying, according to PFF?
No.
So he's still getting double-teamed, and he's leading the league in pressures.
I don't know that he's getting double-teamed as much as he was last year. I got to assume he is.
I mean, he's just blowing people up. The last thing, he's blowing up the guard, the tackle, whoever they put on.
Everybody. And like last year, if they're double-teaming a rookie, I got to imagine they're still double-teaming him if they're not too worried about the other side of the line. But the reality is the Lions spent money. They spent money on the defensive interior, and they spent money on the opposite side of the line, so they tried. But Hutch is just that good, I guess.
Great.
Well, he's been good, and I was really thinking a lot on the plane because I didn't see the game, but then I saw what happened, and people were talking about Hutchinson, and I was like, here we go again.
You guys were still on the plane when they were playing the game?
Oh, yeah. We were like mid I guess we were toward the end of the flight.
Well, I mean, if they took off in like the 5 o'clock hour, 6 o'clock hour or so, they would have been flying for, 10, 12 hours, however long the flight is, 8 hours.
Yeah, we landed like 1:30 your time, I guess that would be. So, but Hutchinson's obviously playing really well, and you just said it. They're moving him around. They're doing what like J.J. Watt used to do. They're moving him around. Why don't the Jags move these guys around, move them over a guard? Do they do that more often than we see, or are we just noticing it because Hutchinson and guys like Watt and everything are able to get in the backfield? But I mean, I think like half the snaps this year, that might be too much, but I think I saw something where a lot of the snaps this year, he's over the guard instead of running from the outside. He's running from the rushing from the interior more than the exterior guys.
They're definitely trying different things with him. It's funny to see. It's like maybe it's because they're not getting production from those other spots that they can afford to play those games on the defense and just move them to those other spots. Whereas on the Jaguars, maybe they like their guys where they've got them. They just want to see them step up and make some plays.
It feels like a lot of the highlights have been on the guard. But also, to your point, Brent, it feels like the Jags aren't doing it because Trayvon Walker, it feels like, wants to be inside, going back to what he said in training camp, and like everyone wants him inside. So, feels like they're not doing enough of that.
Here's what I was thinking. If Trayvon over the next couple of weeks, somewhere, maybe it's this one, maybe it's Sunday, can he just have a dominant game soon? Because if he would have a dominant game, and he had like 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks, or just blew somebody up in addition to that, right? Or a forced fumble along with 2 sacks, something like that. I don't need 4.5 sacks from him, or those things are hard to get. But if he just would have a dominant game, I think all the other things that he's doing well, you'd be able to talk about. But until you get those dominant, flashy, splash plays, you got no chance to compare to guys like Hutchinson and other really effective and great pass rushers in the game. Nobody's going to talk about all the little things. Doesn't mean you're a bad football player. They're just not going to talk about those things. And so, man, give me a dominant game Sunday from Trayvon Walker. Like, if there's one guy that could have a dominant game, I think that would be an awesome one to pick.
Come on.
We'll see if he can do it. It would be nice. Most dominant game he's had is probably like his first career game against Washington. He had an interception and a sack, I think, and maybe a couple tackles for losses. He was awesome that game.
Big game that day.
Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. They're in the Action Sports Shack studios. It's a big weekend. Kasey Kuhrts' birthday weekend. Woo! I mean, I saw family pictures from Aaron Schachter.
Oh,
like those are out on Facebook.
I saw those.
Hey.
Okay.
They look good. What a beautiful family. I don't know what the hell you're doing in it, but that's a heck of a family.
Agree with that.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690. A mix of clouds and sun today. It'll be breezy. Temperatures a little warmer and still a few brief showers in spots with highs 80 to 85 this afternoon. Dropping to near 70 tonight and partly cloudy tomorrow. Still a chance for a brief shower, but mostly dry. Your Saturday high into the mid-80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
The World Poker Tour will be at Best Bet Jacksonville from October 26th through November 14th. This exciting tournament series will feature 14 poker tournaments, including Event 1, $200,000 guarantee, Event 6, $300,000 guarantee, and the $1 million guaranteed main event. Don't miss out on the World Poker Tour Championship. Satellites are going on now. Visit bestbetjax.com for more information. That's bestbetjax.com.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Oh, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
We're in the middle of it now, the fall season, as we hit October on the campus of the University of North Florida. Swoop with the Ospreys, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, golf, swimming programs, all in mid-season form. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. And coming soon, it's men's and women's basketball. The schedule is out, plenty of home games to attend. Bring the family. Season tickets are for sale. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFOspreys.com. And swoop for the Ospreys all season.
Many of us enjoy being DIYers. Do you really need a financial advisor for retirement? Or can you just do that yourself too?
I wondered about that.
Well, it depends. Have the Talon Wealth team create a comprehensive financial plan personalized for you at no cost. Then you can compare what you're doing to what's possible with a team of fiduciaries on your side.
Okay.
Schedule now at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Hey, listen to this. 4 weeks in with Awaken 180 weight loss, and I'm a new man, 25 pounds lighter. Hey, it's Brian Middleton, and I've got so much energy now. And you should see me on the basketball court, keeping up with guys 10 years younger than me. Ain't that something? And stairs, I'm not just walking, I'm jogging up the steps, both at home and at work. And the best part, I get to the top, I'm not even winded. Now, my Awaken 180 coach Jenna let me in on something last week, which 100% makes sense. For every pound I'm losing, it takes 4 pounds of pressure off my knees. That's 100 pounds less pressure by losing just 25 pounds. Imagine how your joints would feel with 100 or even 200 pounds less pressure on them. Now I'm anticipating how much greater I'm going to feel after dropping the next 25 pounds with Awaken 180. Want the same results? Reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, make sure you wish Kasey Kuhrts a happy birthday. It's not today, but it's tomorrow, and we don't have a show tomorrow, so embarrass the heck out of him. Call him, 904-362-9901. Send a message, 904-362-9901. You can text us. That's the text line. That's also the phone line. But nobody calls anymore. Well, some people call our show, but nobody calls each other anymore. They just text. Well, you can text us as well, 904-362-9901. Happy birthday, Kasey weekend.
Thank you, Brent.
You're so excited, aren't you?
Thrilled, my boy. I appreciate it.
Thrilled.
You know me.
Well, I like that about you, though. I like that about you. I respect that. Not a big birthday guy.
Nah, not really.
I'm okay with birthday people. It's fine.
Nah, it doesn't sound like Brent's okay with birthday people. It sounds like Brent hates birthday people.
She already said.
And I bet you, not only does he hate birthday people, I bet he even more so hates the people who go, it's my birthday week. You ever meet any of those people?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. No, listen. I love Liv down in Action Sports. She's the queen of it. She's the queen. She is like, it's my birthday month.
Ooh,
it's my birthday week. It's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday. I'm like, holy cow. Like, you know what? While you're at it, it's your birthday year.
There it is.
Every year, baby. Every year.
I'm going to celebrate my birthday for 364 days until the next one.
Might as well.
How about, have you ever taken a day off for your birthday?
Me? No.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Either one of you.
I've done it like once or twice. It's just not as fun. You're not really celebrating with anybody. You're sitting at home. You're not really doing anything when everyone's at work. So now you've taken off of work for no reason. You're just sitting home watching The Price is Right. Like, come on.
That's actually better than celebrating with people.
That's true.
Just a chill day. That's pretty good. So, I mean, it's different if you're like going away. How about, speaking of birthdays, Trevor Lawrence turns 24. He turns 24. Next week. It's crazy Trevor Lawrence is 24 years old. I hope I accomplish half of what Trevor accomplished by age 24 by the time I'm 100.
Well, Brent's sitting here with low ambitions and low goals. I remember when I was 24, I was pretty much on the same level as Trev. I was getting chased by debt collectors on this college loan, and repo guys were looking for the car. Me and Trevor are just the same dude. The celebrities are just like us.
Hey, listen, at age 24, both Trev and I had been married for about a year or so. I mean, that's what I've got in common with him.
There it is.
I got nothing.
Casey, you don't got nothing.
Not one thing.
Oh, wow. You don't have long hair. All right.
I'm pretty much a loser, yeah.
Ooh, on a birthday, that's a tough thing to hear, man. Let's not do that
Listen,
anymore.
Everybody's a loser relative to Trev. All right.
He's not wrong,
Trevor
actually.
makes everybody feel like a loser.
There it is.
So you got any plans for your birthday?
Nope. Not one.
Man.
Amanda's going to do something for your birthday.
I doubt it. I think he's trained her. I think he's trained her to not do anything, or else Casey's going to be upset.
Yeah, no plans.
No,
Brent.
he's not that. He won't get upset. He won't get upset.
I told Casey today, I was like, all right, we might have a little bit of a celebration planned for later in the show. And he gave me a look like, here we go. I don't like this at all. It's like, it's your birthday, man. This is the one day where the surprise is good. It's fun. It's not going to hurt.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Unfortunately for you, or fortunately for you, Casey, whatever he was ordering ended up at my door at the start of the show. You have to go back and listen to the start of the show to get that one, folks.
Instant callback.
You can subscribe.
You can listen on YouTube and subscribe to Action Sports Shacks. Hey, guys, real quick, this is going to be like a 2-minute conversation.
Cool.
I love the Ryder Cup. I don't want to talk about it today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like,
Is it because America did so poorly or what?
Yeah, they suck. That's why.
Boy.
Kasey, did you watch this?
A little bit. I was in and out. We had it on the TV down there at the D-Hob. I was working, but wasn't good, Brent.
I mean, that was a disaster.
Yeah, real
what a
bad.
disaster. I mean, listen, you know, you've been saying it, but I don't agree with you to the level you were saying it. Like, you were like, Europe's a better team. Okay, they are. They're on paper, they're a better team. I get it. But the United States doesn't have a bad team. Like, this isn't like a bunch of rookies. These guys have pretty darn good resumes, too, and it's golf, and anybody can win and all that stuff. They got just smothered this morning. They made 6 birdies in 49 holes together. They never led a match. And then they go and they look like they're turning it all around. They lead 3 matches late in the afternoon, and they have all of them. They can't put them away. I will say this. As much as I want to ridicule the United States right now because I don't like the scoreboard, and I do get, like, I love this sporting event, and I'm just bummed right now that it's not even going to be a contest this weekend. I don't even know if I'm going to watch. But I will say, the Europeans, man, they just made shots. I mean, Victor Hovland made every shot possible, every putt possible. John Rahm made every putt possible. You got to tip your cap sometimes. Some folks are just making more plays than you are, and I think the Europeans did it today, Kasey.
I would say they did, Brent. It was a shellacking, if you will. It was just a bad situation.
Yes.
They were just, I mean, to your point, Europe was just better, but, like, their roster, if you will, their team, I think, is just more talented. And when you have the Americans that weren't playing well, like a lot of these guys that were on the team,
like Morikawa, Schauffele,
and Thomas weren't in great form. And you've got guys like Hovland, who's in fantastic form. Taylor Hatton always shows up in links golf. Rahm, it goes on and on. Like, I just didn't think they have a chance.
Brent's bestie had a good day. Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, that's not good for the Americans, Brent. Right. Don't you hate him in the Ryder Cup, Brent?
No, I know. You know, it's something else about this, Kasey. Again, this is my final comment. I don't even want to spend a lot of time on it today because I'm so just disappointed in it. I didn't find myself this time as angry at the Rorys and Hovlands and everybody else. And I'm starting to wonder if that's because, first of all, they're about as Americanized as you can be. I mean, Rory lives in Florida, you know, all that stuff. That's always been the case. But I can turn on Rory for this week. Like, that's no problem. The thing about it is, I think the split between LIV and the PGA Tour, and since I was on, like, the PGA Tour side of it, these guys were all playing on the tour. So they kind of feel like my team, like the home team a little bit more than, you know, if a bunch of LIV golfers were playing for Europe. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I get what you're saying. It feels like to your point, you're rooting for the home team, rooting for the good guy, not the guys that left. Like, if this was, I don't know, Sergio and the boys, you'd feel differently because they left. Then you're really hating them. But now you feel like you love the PGA Tour, you feel like you owe some to the boys. Like, you can't hate them because they made the right decision.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's at. And, like, I even don't mind Koepka. Like, of all the LIV guys that left, and LIV's kind of worn off with all the stuff that's happened anyway. It's not like my dislike and disgust about it is nowhere near it was like 6 months ago or a year ago. But even Koepka, like, I wasn't a huge Koepka guy before, but he's kind of just here nor there. And the only thing about Koepka is, like, I would have played him in the morning round. I mean, I don't know why you're sitting that guy. I mean, I kind of want him in this kind of stuff because he's a killer.
Case, this is the second time this week
big events
that Brent loves Brooks Koepka.
It's true.
Yeah.
Brent's having a change of heart.
A little bit.
I love him.
It kind of feels that way, Brent.
You've been saying some nice things about him this week, certainly 2 days ago before you left on the flight. Yeah. And then today, you want him out there for your team?
I think we should get him a Brooks Koepka LIV jersey.
Ooh.
Whatever team he is.
I couldn't believe they put Sam Burns out there. They put Sam Burns out there to start the thing. I mean, come on, Sammy. Like, that's fine. But
it's not
I can
fine,
only
though.
think that they're trying to get these – they're trying to get them reps, I think, for down the road is my guess. They know they're going to lose. That's my thought.
I mean, maybe. I I think that's part of the problem. Like, they just don't have guys that are, like, if you look at all of Europe's team, too, like, they're battle-tested, right? You look at the American Sam Burns, he's not in this competition. Wyndham Clark, absolutely not. Brian Harmon, shout out to him. Sea Island, not battle-tested in this event. Like, when you're going up against Fitzpatrick and Hatton and Rahm and Rory, it's like everybody they have outside of the one real tall dude from Sweden, everybody's battle-tested, and they're gonna come to the top there.
All right. I talked way too much about the Ryder Cup, but I appreciate you giving me a little therapy here on a Friday. Maybe there's a miracle in place coming up in the next 2 days, but I doubt it.
There is not.
Hey, I want to talk more about the Jags in a little bit, but before I do that, how big is this Bills-Dolphins game? And doesn't it feel like a massive game for early October in the AFC East? And is this just because the Dolphins are like the taste of the league right now? And, I mean, the Bills, we know how good they've been, but this feels like a mega game for the fourth week of the season to me.
I can tell you, looking at the schedule before the season started, I think a lot of people looked at that game as an important one just because you're talking about two teams that not only are vying to lead the AFC East into the playoffs, but to be one of the top-seeded teams in the AFC overall. Then the Dolphins go and hang 70 on the Broncos, and I think now it's like the hot new club. Everyone just wants to be there to see what happens next. The reality is I think they may get a little disappointed. I think that offense is in for a slowdown against the Bills. I think it's actually going to be a slower game than everybody. Well, because the Bills' defense is pretty good. Bills' defense is good up front. Bills' defense is good in the secondary. Tua's got Cheetah, and he's going to have Waddle back this week, it looks like. But I think the backfield of the Dolphins will get exposed this week, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. And I think Tua's going to have a hard time in that pocket. He's not going to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a birthday song. Happy birthday, Kasey.
How did you do that?
How did I do what?
You changed my hotkeys? Are you serious?
There might be a couple of these mines laid out throughout the show. I don't know.
How did you know I was going to need that?
That's great.
We were getting there one way or another today.
It just happened to come for real?
I tell you, that is good.
I have real news, but now I'm mad.
Go ahead, Brent.
Oh, let me get this straight before you deliver the real news. So, Aaron just set your board up to something you had no idea what was going to happen.
Correct.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
I love this guy.
Casey hit the breaking news stinger, and I've attached a birthday song to the end of it because breaking news, guys, tomorrow's Casey's birthday.
That's unbelievable because here's the thing. He didn't change anything. The color of my hotkey is still the same. The time is still the same. How did you do that? It still says 4 seconds.
That just happens to do with the upgrade we did last week.
So you didn't even mean to do that?
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know, but I'm going to say, you got that hotkey Brent sucks all the time. I'm going to start putting different ones in every time you hit a button.
Well, let's try you suck, Brent. See what happens. Hold on, Brent. Do you still suck?
Suck, Brent.
Yep. Okay.
Still works.
Nothing random there.
All right.
Good. All right, guys. Breaking news.
That's what the mechanic in the middle of the row is saying to Brent.
This is a disaster. So not having to do with my birthday, we have new news from Ari Mirioff. The NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to the following rules on players gambling.
Ooh.
I will say this started with Jamison Williams is getting his suspension shortened to 4 games.
Okay.
Good.
But the new rules are this from Ari Mirioff. If you bet on NFL games not involving your team, at least a 1-year suspension.
Wow.
If it involves your team, a minimum of 2 years.
Ooh, that'll mess up a career now.
Ooh.
Betting on non-NFL games in the team facility, 2 games for first violation, 6 games for second violation, and at least 1 year for a third violation. This one is kind of reckless.
All right.
Attempting to fix games, so if you're caught throwing.
Got to be lifetime ban.
Banned for life.
Yeah.
Inside information and or tipping, minimum 1 year.
That's it.
That's what it says.
All right.
Third party or proxy betting, minimum 1 year.
Third party or proxy bet. So I asked my cousin's friend to bet for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you how much technology they have
what's
that
the
they
punishment?
can figure that out. 1 year.
Minimum 1 year, at a minimum.
Really? 1 year for that? Wow, that surprises me. Here's the one that I like. We're gonna have to take a break, but we'll break all this down because that's a lot to digest.
It is,
and that's fascinating that they've come up with these kind of parameters and guidelines, and we've actually been asking for that in this like hypocrite kind of topic between the NFL and all the money that they're raking in because of gambling. But you said one that was interesting to me, like it was in the facility 2 games. It's almost like, hey, if I really think I'm going to win this, it might be worth 2 game check.
I don't have time to get across the street. I got to place this right now.
All you got to do is like roll to the gate gas station and make the bet. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's the one that got Jamison Williams in trouble, I believe, right?
Correct.
I mean, he was in the facility or on the grounds, and good for them for reducing his sentence because his was the dumbest one yet, in my opinion. So he goes from 6 games to 4 games. All right, let's break this down a little bit more because that's very interesting. They've set some guidelines, and it seems like they've gone pretty steep on some of these guidelines as well. But there's less gray area, which I guess is good on the NFLPA and the NFL for doing that. We're back from London all the way to Jacksonville, and wherever you're listening or watching, Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Plus, right now, buy a DeWalt Power Stack battery kit and get a select DeWalt Bear tool free, up to a $249 value. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29. Subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
How are you? My name is Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just 2 bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Hundreds of thousands of knee replacements and hip replacements are performed each year in the United States, and those numbers are on the rise, but some of these surgeries are preventable. Exercise and health lifestyles have a direct effect on muscle strength, joint flexibility, and bone density. Maintaining a healthy body weight can lessen the effects of osteoarthritis and prevent injuries. Hip pain is a common problem and can cause discomfort and difficulty in walking, sitting, and daily life like working and playing sports. If you are experiencing hip pain, the hip orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treatment of your hip pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You know, we've been in business here in Florida since 1928. And if you asked what's been the most important part of our history and what will be the most important part of Underwood's future, the answer's the same thing for both: our honesty and integrity. Our founder, H.F. Underwood, had a favorite saying: know the truth and tell the truth. That's why we're the longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in Florida, because we know that you have to have the knowledge about gemstones before you can tell the truth about gemstones. As a result, we've continued educating our staff through the Gemological Institute of America and the American Gem Society. In fact, today, Underwoods has the largest American Gem Society credentialed staff of professionals east of the Mississippi River. So come by and see why we're looking forward to the future and let one of our credentialed professionals take care of you. at Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Make the superior choice when you hire a plumber. From unclogging drains and water heater repairs to complete cast iron pipe replacements, Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has you covered. Request a free estimate from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Hey y'all, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K this October 2nd to 8th at Timuquana Country Club. Be sure to check out college football and your Jaguars on the Jumbotrons in the Publix Tailgate Village, Birdie Beers at Circle K Party Porch, the ViStar Patriots Outpost, and more. Grab your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com to see the legends of the game compete for a spot in the PGA Tour Champions playoffs. Don't forget Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets today.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
All right, well, Kasey just told us about the breaking news right before the break. And, Kasey, I'd like you to go through it again. Let's go blow by blow here and see if they got it right. I will say this just overall. Good job by the NFL, NFLPA to get together, get the gray out of this a little more, and start sending the message consistently. This kind of came out of nowhere to me, and I think even for players that it was like this big of a deal, and we're really cracking down on it. And they started using guys as examples. I didn't like how this all went down from the NFL. I think we've been pretty vocal about it, pretty hypocritical considering all the money that's coming in from gambling, and then some of the almost idiotic rules of this and separations like Jamison Williams. If he's across the street, it's okay, but if he's on this side of the street, it's not. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it looks like they've straightened some of those things out, or at least got on the same page with the NFLPA and the NFL. So go ahead, Kasey. What's the latest on the gambling?
So we'll start at the top. By the way, this is all from Ari Miriov, and now many other people have it, but this is where I saw it. And we'll start with the first one that he lists, and it's if you bet on NFL games not involving your team, that is at least a year suspension. So if you play for Minnesota and you bet on Green Bay and Detroit, that's a year at least, which I think we're all in agreement that's probably fair.
Mm-hmm.
If you bet on your team, if you're on Minnesota and you bet on Minnesota, it is a minimum of 2 years.
Now, that's if you bet on them to win.
It just says if it involves your team.
Oh, because, okay, I got confused on the next one. Okay.
There's no stipulation.
Okay.
But
there's no stipulation there, which means that's probably why it's a minimum, Aaron. Like, if you bet on your team to win, might cost you 2 years. If you bet on your team to lose, might cost you a lifetime ban or something else.
But only if there's provable fixing, right? Case, go ahead.
So that's the next one, where if you are attempting to fix games, which if you play on a team and you bet on that team to lose, and all of a sudden you're not covering your guy, or you all of a sudden are fumbling, you are unquestioned banished from the NFL.
But I am curious about a guy who is maybe a fourth or fifth string wide receiver who doesn't get in a game almost ever, if ever, 0 snaps that day, bets on his team to lose, they lose. He's not going to get the lifetime ban unless they can prove he was fixing the game. I'm not sure how he would do it from the sideline, but could you get more than a year just because you bet to lose and you lose and it looks worse than betting to win and you win? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know how that will be perceived. I know you guys and many other people are like, hey, if I bet on my team to win, what's wrong with that?
I mean, there's an argument to be made, but that argument will not be made anymore. 2 other things that are minimum of a year suspension: inside information and or tipping, and then third party or proxy betting. So as Aaron said earlier, you tell your friend, your cousin, whoever, to bet on this because you got a feeling. That's not allowed. If you know that you're on Minnesota and Kirk Cousins ain't playing this week, but everybody else doesn't know, that would be the insider information. Both of those minimum of a year.
Man.
And then the last one, which is the the intriguing one that involves Jameson Williams, which, by the way, the Lions played last night, so he will play next week if he's
ready.
The suspension will end next week, now going from 6 to 4. But betting on non-NFL games inside the team facility. The first time you do it is 2 games. So if Jameson Williams, if that situation would have happened now, instead of the 6 he got, it would have been 2 games. The second violation is now 6, which is what they got originally. And then the third violation, all of betting on non-NFL games inside the team facility, at least a year for your third violation.
Yeah, and so, I don't mind all this. This lays it out, guys. And now when you walk into a building, I think in an NFL, now you can see all this. It's in your handbook. It's I don't know if people read handbooks anymore, but you can plaster that all over the place, the locker room, everywhere else. You've got to be consistent with your messaging now if you're the NFL, and you have to pound this home, much like you have done different initiatives throughout the last decade, 20 years, whatever it might be. But this has to be one. If you don't want it in the sport, you have to make everybody so aware. And Aaron, I'm telling you, kids are growing up doing this because of your Flipcoin app and other things. And so this is going to be a habit that people are going to have to break once they get to the league, and they're already seeing it in colleges and everywhere else.
I mean, it almost harkens back to the days of teenagers smoking cigarettes or illegal drinking, where what other habit or addiction do we start kids out so young with that it becomes just a part of your life by the time you're a grown adult? I think betting is turning into that, to be honest with you. I don't know that it's necessarily, what, you don't think so, Case?
Who's to say? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, there's a few. Vaping, social media.
No, these are all good points.
Gambling.
But look at the problems these things have turned into. And so I'm not sitting here saying or telling you to outlaw gambling. A lot of people see it as a victimless crime until it gets out of control and you start throwing away lives on the thing. But we are talking about a world in which we've got completely legal apps for 12 and 14-year-olds to bet money line with flip coins or bet the spread or anytime touchdown and accumulate, fake. They're still getting all the dopamine drip from it. It's just they're not old enough for the cash yet.
Yeah. No, listen, it's smart in a way. It's also scary in a way, and you're going to have to break habits. But in 5 years, there will be 50% of the NFL player that has probably laid a bet down in his life, and now they have to stop that, right? Most likely. They have to even do it in college now. I think this needs to be addressed more in college because I think kids like those Iowa State folks, I don't think they really knew. They're like, whatever, okay, let's try it. And then, boom, you're caught, right? Yeah. I mean, this isn't just like the big-time player that's point shaving or something else. This goes deeper than that. All right, we got to hit the top of the hour. It's the top of the 9 o'clock hour here in London, top of the 4 o'clock hour coming up on ESPN 690 in Jacksonville. Hey, wait till we do the Blitz Scoreboard Show later tonight. That'll be 2 a.m. my time, and that is 9 o'clock at your time. We got an hour show. Kevin Sullivan will join us in the 5 o'clock hour today, and then joins us for the Blitz Scoreboard Show presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, Baker Sports, Tivoli's House of Cards. More football talk, 4 o'clock hour next on ESPN 690.
Hey, poker players, get ready because the World Poker Tour is coming back to Best Bet Jacksonville from October 26th through November 14th. It is your chance to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 different poker tournaments to play in, including the Best Bet Scramble, a $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee. Satellites and mega satellites are going on now at Best Bet Jacksonville. Visit bestbetjacks.com for the full World Poker Tour schedule and more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah!
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 4th Annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside. Sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends.
Right.
September 28th to October 8th. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 28th to October 8th. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Duncan.
Cancer doesn't care, and an increasing number of local families are hearing their child has been diagnosed. There is an urgent need for help.
This is how people lose their houses. This is how people lose their cars.
There are mortgage payments made, groceries. You have to make a choice between putting food on your table and
getting your child to treatment, what are you going to choose?
You can help keep these families together during the fight. Donate now to the Child Cancer Fund. Any amount is welcome. Please donate at childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Raiders defensive lineman Chandler Jones arrested today in Las Vegas. He is charged with violating a domestic violence protective order. Jones hasn't played this season. He's been away from the team since Labor Day weekend. The Broncos are 0-3. They'll play in Chicago against the 0-3 Bears Sunday. Denver trying to recover from a 50-point loss to the Dolphins. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
It starts with the head coach. I want to hear Sean Payton talk about, you know what? I didn't have my defense ready to go. We didn't tackle well. We're going to tackle in August of 2024 because as a head coach, I have to do a better job. Russell Wilson's a meaningful piece, but it's way bigger than him.
Mike Tannenbaum on Unsportsmanlike. Bills safety Jordan Poyer out for Sunday's game against the Dolphins with a knee injury. That means DeMar Hamlin could be active for the first time this season. The first day of the Ryder Cup is a big day for Team Europe, leading Team USA 6.5 to 1.5. The Americans did not win one match today, just the second time they've done that in Cup history.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up on Monday, I'll tell you all the small things I saw this weekend that you need to know. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Kinetico softener and drinking water system. Kinetico's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Kinetico K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Kinetico Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hey, it's Brian Middleton, and I'm here with Paige, a new friend and the owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Now, thanks to Awaken 180, I've dropped 25 pounds in just 4 weeks. But it's not about the number. Paige, after 9 years, what continues to inspire you when it comes to helping people with Awaken 180?
It's so inspiring to hear people change their lives and to be a part of that every day. The more people who can transform their lives and feel better and be more confident and be happier and see that change come through in every aspect of their life, not just in their weight or how they look or the clothes that they wear, but in their career and in their family and how they inspire their kids. That's why we do this.
That was so good. Paige, thank you. Well, changing lives without medications, the gym, or fasting. If you're ready to make a 180 with your health, choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Well, the big story out of the NFL just a short time ago is about gambling and new guidelines to, I guess, streamline this and make it more clearly communicated to the players. And it's just a fascinating story. We've had these deep dives into this conversation many a times, very critical of the NFL, by the way, because it's just been a very hypocritical thing that they've done. And now at least I can appreciate that, hey, we know they're going to take the money. We know gambling's a big part of it. We know it's almost been built on fantasy football and other things. But at least they can have a more mainstream communication line, messaging between the NFL and the NFLPA. I can appreciate that part of it because, hey, once you're grabbing that kind of money, there's no going back. I mean, they're not going to like, hey, okay, you can't gamble anymore. No way. We knew that wasn't going to be the case. But some of the handling of these situations, I think, was always in question. Brent Martineau here in London. Jags arrived early this morning. It's now 9 o'clock London time. 4 o'clock hour back in Jacksonville. Hope everybody's doing well, having a good week, and heading into the weekend with a lot of good plans. Some birthday plans for Kasey, some family plans hopefully for Aaron, and some winning plans hopefully for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We will find out. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Aaron, you bring up a good point in the commercial break, and it has to do with Calvin Ridley. What do you got?
Well, when Calvin Ridley went to the Players Tribune with that big piece that we all loved because he was taking accountability and being a dude owning up to what he did, he gave us some details on what landed him on his suspension after being, I guess, convicted by the league. I'm not sure that's the word you use, but essentially accused and serving suspension for gambling. And what Calvin said was, while at home, he downloaded a gambling app, deposited $1,500, made bets on the NBA and the NFL games. Now, according to Kasey's rules, that wasn't inside a facility, and so it shouldn't have been that big a deal. But he did say, Calvin Ridley did, that he bet on the Falcons. And under these new rules, Brent, betting on your own team results in a minimum 2-year suspension.
Which, is kind of crazy because if you go back to the context of Ridley, this was before the Jags traded for him. I think Kasey and Aaron, we had these conversations. Probably, I guess, would have been more Kasey at this time. But weren't we surprised, based on what other people get punished for around the National Football League, when Calvin Ridley, still an Atlanta Falcon, was suspended for the amount of time he was suspended? I remember being surprised by that story, Kasey.
I do, yeah, I do as well. I think at that time it was, really one of the first of it was the first of the new wave, I guess,
big gambling
suspensions on sports gambling, at least. And it was surprising because we didn't know anything. Like, we didn't know enough. We had nothing to really base it off of. But the only thing we were basing off of was, like, crimes, I guess you could say.
Other guys getting suspended for less time for assault and battery. Yeah.
Right. And that's where we were like, this isn't adding up right now. Yeah.
And so, that's a good call. And so now, in hindsight, though, if we already thought it was kind of maybe a little skewed too much in the Calvin Ridley situation, this rule would say it would be 2 years. It just feels kind of crazy that if you bet $1,500, you would cost yourself 2 years of playing football. But that's cracking down on it, guys. That's sending a message. That's like, you better know. You don't want to make that. That's not worth, well, it's not worth it anyway, but it's like that borders on stupidity if you know the rules and are getting a clear message. The problem before for guys like Ridley and others, I don't think they were getting a clear enough message, Aaron.
No, apparently not, but that message has been delivered. I think the NFL was given feedback not just by people inside the league, but people like us outside the league who talk about the league for a living. And the feedback was, look, you can make all the rules you want, but you got to communicate to the guys. You got to make it clear. No more gray area, black and white. Let's go.
Yeah. Boy, imagine that. He would still be suspended under these new guidelines if that were to be the case.
Jags likely wouldn't have traded for him if he was suspended for 2 years.
Well, no doubt they wouldn't have. Yeah. They definitely wouldn't have. Why would you? You would wait till this year. And then you're going on a couple more years. And obviously we're already wondering, has the year and change off impacted Calvin Ridley, because he appears to be a little bit rusty these last couple of weeks and things aren't clicking on all cylinders. And that brings me to a conversation point that I was thinking about today, because I'm wrestling with it, guys. So I need your help. I can only imagine what Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Trevor Lawrence, others putting a game plan together for Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. Feeling the heat. They know they got to get the offense going. This is a huge game. You got to win this football game, and you got to start playing better football, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But who am I feeding the football? The Jags have a lot of weapons. Travis Etienne really got cooking last week, had a nice game. Evan Ingram in the second half had 7 catches. Christian Kirk, the previous game against Kansas City, had 11 catches. Didn't do much in the first half, but then got going in the second half against Houston. Calvin Ridley's been struggling the last couple of weeks. It looks like Zay Jones will be out. I mean, where are you going with the football? And I know the answer here is spread it around, spread it around. They want it just to come to them and don't target anybody. But the bottom line is you got to get in a rhythm somehow. And some teams you game plan better for a certain skill set. Like this could be Evan Ingram's game because he just matches up well. If you could pick one of the players I just mentioned, because I think that's it. It's Etienne, it's Ingram, it's Kirk, it's Ridley. Aaron, I'll start with you. Who are you trying to get the football to early and often on Sunday?
I'm working Christian Kirk on Sunday. I'm letting Calvin Ridley continue to get settled in on the team. I'm letting Calvin Ridley get comfortable without the pressure of worrying about the ball coming to him, unless, of course, he's open and you know you can nail the throw. But if I'm forcing it anywhere, it's to Christian Kirk. He's a surefire reception if he's anywhere close to the ball. And the reality is that was how the team got rolling last year. You go to Kirk, then you go to Ingram. You go to Kirk, you go to Etienne. Go to Kirk, go to Jones. Go to Kirk, keep going in between. So I would love to see Christian Kirk get consistently more involved in the game plan. He's already been involved in the last few weeks' game plans, although a lot of that has come in the second half. I would love to see that get off in the beginning.
Kasey?
Listen, I'm an expert in the Falcons at this point because I just got the new Madden and I've been playing with them.
Congrats,
and let me tell you something. Them boys cannot stop the run in video games. So I'm thinking that has to translate to real life. So I'm going Travis Etienne. You got him going a little bit last week, but he's too explosive to just get 12, 15 carries. It's not enough. He needs 20 carries, and you need to throw it to him a couple of times. I know you drafted Tank. I know you got the Ernest Johnson. I know there's cramping issues 2 weeks in a row, but I heard it's cooler in London. Brent, you'll have to confirm or deny. I saw your video earlier. You looked pretty cold, my guy, so it's definitely cooler, there than it is here. Hopefully cramping's not an issue, but Travis Etienne may be, and maybe it's not even arguable, but maybe it is, their most talented player that's not the quarterback. So you got to continue to find ways to give him the football, whether it's hand it to him more, throw it to him more, screen, this, that, line him up as receiver. I don't care. Just get him the football. So I go Travis Etienne.
Yeah, it's a good call, man. And this is what I'm wrestling with. You know what's funny? Is I lean toward Ingram or Ridley. And I'm stuck. I'm stuck because I feel like for this offense to reach its potential, to be dangerous, you've got to get Ridley going. Ridley's the separator, man. He's the difference maker. There's not a lot of guys like him once he's playing good football like we saw in August, the first half against the Colts. I mean, he had 7 catches in the first half. He was on his way to this monster day. And then you make teams shut him down so you can go elsewhere. But the other guy, man, you guys know I like Evan Ingram a lot. We'll end up having a little conversation with him. We'll play for you later on the show. And I just feel like he's consistent, and when he's involved, you're also doing a similar thing. You're making them defend a different part of the field. I saw a stat this week, too. He's top 5 in the NFL, guys, yards after catch, which means he's making plays after he gets it. Now, he's not the 25, 30, 35-yard big play touchdown guy, but he's doing good things with the football, and he's a tough matchup. We already know that. I kind of lean Ingram, and the reason I come back to it is, and I don't mind Kirk, I don't mind Etienne, I don't mind Ingram in this answer, because those are the guys that Trevor has worked with the most. Those are the guys that Press Taylor and Doug Peterson have seen the most. Those are the nuanced things that make an offense click when it's out of sync. Those are the guys that can fix it. So I think I lean back toward Ingram. You can go Kirk. Kasey can go Etienne. But I do wrestle with the idea of, well, what are you supposed to do? Just not throw it to Ridley? Not feed him the ball? You're taking away maybe your biggest weapon if you do that. I think it's a puzzle for the Jags, but they got to get somebody going. And most importantly, whatever that somebody is or whoever that somebody is, they've got to get their offense going. So they've got to identify who's going to be the catalyst to this offense. And, Kasey might be the most right here because last week in the second half, the catalyst to this offense actually was Travis Etienne.
Yeah, and Etienne can do some damage against this team, Case. You're right about that. This team sometimes struggles with the run defense.
I told you, I'm an expert.
You did, and apparently you are, so congratulations.
Them boys, they can't do it in Madden.
New certification. Way to go.
I think it's kind of like the Hard Knocks scenario.
Are you saying it's only Etienne this weekend, or are you expecting other guys to show up big?
I'm just saying Etienne is so good. Like, I understand you drafted Bigsby, but I'm not even sure where that lands. Dearness Johnson, okay, but, like, if Etienne, which at this point, off of the rookie year that he didn't play, so you're healthy, and off of a whole season last year, he should understand how to not get cramps, to be real with you. Like, there's no other way to put it. So he should be in shape and in position to be able to get the football 25, 30 times a game. He's a first-round running back. Like, he just should be in that spot. You got to figure out the ways to get him the ball that many times, but also not the same way. Not just turn around and hand it to him. Do different things. Get him the football. Get him in space and let him cook. That's how you score points.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Listen, I'm not sure there's a wrong answer. Here's the deal. The job of Doug Peterson, the job of Press Taylor, the job of even Trevor Lawrence is to find the right answer on Sunday. And so far, outside of the first half against Indianapolis, they really haven't found that answer. Now, I think they came closer to it last week in the second half because they were in a rhythm there in the third quarter until they got punched in the gut because of the kick return. Speaking of, a guy that's been dangerous, how about the rookie tight end that the Detroit Lions have? He's been pretty good, hasn't he, Aaron?
I love myself some Sam Laporta. I didn't think he was going to be the top tight end in the draft coming out of the draft. You remember this draft class was pretty heavily stocked in tight ends. Names like Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid. You had Darnell Washington in there.
Oh!
You had Luke Musgrave, who I think also played last night. And then you got this guy, Sam Laporta. But Laporta's been balling out all season long. And if there's an offense that anyone can get going in on a passing offense, it's got to be Detroit. 4 games in, he's got more games than anybody else with the exception of Luke Musgraves. But he's got the second most receptions in the league at tight end. Third, Evan Ingram, by the way. The second most targets as a tight end. First, TJ Hawkinson, who used to be on Detroit. The most yards by 63 in the league. I mean, the dude is balling out. Got to give props to Sam Laporta.
Yeah, it's a good find. And you said it, round 2, pick 34. So it was early second round pick. Hey, what's I haven't even really looked. What's Darnell Washington doing, Kasey?
Huh?
A lot of blocking, Case.
What? Darnell? He's destroying people? What?
He is pancaking people.
What you mean? More question? I mean, he's just absolutely demolishing.
I saw a great picture of Darnell Washington standing next to one of their receivers who's like 5'10 or 5'11.
Just a big human.
It was a very funny picture. It reminded me of the picture of The Rock standing next to Shaq, standing next to Yao Ming.
Oh, I've seen. No, it wasn't The Rock. Wasn't it Kevin Hart or no?
I've seen Kevin Hart standing next to The Rock, but this picture was Rock, Shaq, Yao Ming. Because you look at The Rock, you're like, that dude's massive.
Yeah.
If you watch any of the Fast and Furious movies, you read about him, you know that in the fight scenes, they had Vin Diesel up on stilts or something.
Right.
Because he's about 7 inches shorter. But Rock is a massive dude, and he's standing next to Shaq, and Shaq towers over him like Shaq is an adult, and Rock is like the kid he brought to work. And then Yao Ming is towering over Shaq, and you're like, how big do humans get?
Yeah, Yao Ming is big human. Brett, I don't know if you've heard, the reports out of Pittsburgh are he's the best blocker they've ever seen.
Wow.
It's true. I mean,
what's
I think.
he got? Let's see what PFF says.
Let's see what PFF says. I don't think he has a catch. We'll see. Let's see what PFF says.
Okay.
Well, you look that up. I just want to I don't know why I'm all over the freaking Lions today, but you mentioned Sam Laporta and all the numbers you just showed us. This is what happens when you're, I hesitate to say a good organization, because the Lions really haven't been overall. But when things are going well, or when you're trying to flip it, or when you're trying to sustain winning, and what you do is what the Lions did with the tight end position. They had drafted Hawkinson. He was okay. They trade him to Minnesota. They don't have to pay him that ridiculous contract. I still can't believe Hawkinson got that much money. And then you go draft in the second round, guys, which I think was like the Lions' third pick of the first 34 picks.
Yes, correct.
And you get Sam Laporta, and you replace him on like a rookie deal, and he's probably more productive than Hockenson. Now, Hockenson can do both things, and I'm not saying Laporta's better, but that's how you do it. Like that's what you need to do to sustain winning, because you can't pay everybody. And right now the Lions are cooking because of moves like this.
I would agree. I think you, in a sense, you have to at times get lucky, but also with the draft, you talk about those first 3 picks that you just mentioned, Brent. I think all 3 of them that they made, Jahmyr Gibbs, we were like, isn't this kind of high?
Kind of early,
and
yeah.
then Jack Campbell, we were like, what is happening right
doing
now?
Great, yeah.
And then Sam Laporta, we were like, there's all these other tight ends that fell to the second round. Laporta was like 3rd or 4th on the list, not 2nd on the list, and boom, here he is getting picked. And they're showing out. So I guess the Lions scouting department and their GM and everybody, like, they did things a little differently. Now, granted, things have been done a little differently in Jacksonville. I'm not sure how we're feeling about that right now, so we'll see how the Lions are feeling in a couple of years, but they kind of went outside of what everybody else thought, and it worked, and then they still ended up with Brian Branch also this year. Let's not forget that.
Those are their first 4 picks.
Yeah, the boys are are good, yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's starting to maybe even look better. Well, not better because Jags got Trevor, but that has like 2021 draft kind of written on it a little bit for the Jags. But they did that after they already got good. It wasn't like the 2021 draft has helped the Jags get good, or we hope they're good.
Yeah.
But last year helped flip it. And so this is totally different in that sense. But, man, that's amazing. What do you got on Darnell Washington, Aaron?
So,
did they even have Darnell Washington on PFF grades? Because that kind of took a while.
Well, you know what? Brent's got a good point here, because if you look at his offensive rankings in fantasy, Kasey, he's currently ranked 162nd, tied with about 300 other guys with zeros across the board.
He doesn't have a target, Aaron. What is he supposed to do?
Oh, but I thought he was a good tight end.
He's the greatest blocker they've ever seen. That's the reports out of Pittsburgh.
Let's take a look at the blocks.
That's
all
what
right,
they're saying.
He's been on pass plays, 16 of them in the first game, 7 of them in the second game, 8 of them in the third game.
He's banged up a little bit.
And he's been pass blocking more and more each game, twice, which accounts for, I think, 1/8 of the plays he was in week 1, but it was almost half of the plays he was in versus Vegas. So his pass block grades are actually pretty impressive.
Are they?
Better than most of the offensive linemen for the Jacksonville Jaguars, according to PFF. But he had a 68 his first game, 72.5 the second game, 71 the third game. But, Brent, his offensive overall grades and his pass catching grades are ugly.
Brent, he's a blocker. Brent, he's a blocker. I don't know.
And I think at, 6'6", 264, he's finding it hard to separate from NFL defenders.
First off, he's 6'7". Have some respect.
Sorry about that.
I don't care what PFF says. They wouldn't surprise me if PFF doesn't know height. They're like, they changed the stats for sacks, so you might as well change it for height.
You're right. They're
an inch off.
They have Ivy League level advanced metrics, but what is height? I don't understand.
6'7", 270. Come on, Darnell. He's a great blocker. He needs time to develop. It'll be fine.
Currently on the year, his pass block is 74.4. His run block is 55.6. And we know Pittsburgh is struggling right now in the run game. 49 on offense, 43.5 on passing downs.
He'll be all right.
Well, there you go.
But
We'll see.
If Kasey would have, yeah, it is early. But if Kasey would have gotten his wish, you would have had yourself another guard or tackle in there.
See, if he's Brent, he's pass blocking better than the Jags O-line. What do you want? He could have played guard, 6'7", 270. I don't know. Apparently, he can't catch.
The giant human being.
That'll be another thing. There's 2 things to keep an eye on. Will the Jags make a kind of switch it around a little bit on the offensive line over this week, next week? And then the other part would be, do they just try to bring in Luke Farrell and Brenton Strange even more? Do they chip away? Do they get a lot more help? They're doing that on occasion, but did they do more of that personnel just to help the offensive line, or hopefully the offensive line just gets fixed and they just play better? That would be ideal. That would definitely be ideal. Brent Friends on ESPN 690 from Jacksonville, where Aaron Schachter and Kasey Kuhrts are, to London, where I am. Jags have made it over here. They'll basically have a day off tomorrow. They're making a public appearance. A couple of players are doing that. They'll have a little walkthrough. But then it's Sunday at Wembley Stadium against the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, I've got some notes for you in your swoop minute over on the campus of the University of North Florida. Robbie Higgins of men's golf named Golfer of the Week, second straight for UNF, by the way. UNF Swimming competes in its first ever home night meet on campus, and the event as a member of the ASUN Swimming program in the conference. So they just welcomed swimming to the conference, and now a first-ever home night meet on campus coming up for UNF swimming. That's pretty cool. Men's and women's basketball, first days of practice. Oh, yeah, they're here. Baseball and softball opening with the first day of official practices next week in the fall, too. So a lot happening on the campus of UNF, UNFospreys.com. That's your Swoop Minute.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of clouds and sun today. It'll be breezy. Temperatures a little warmer and still a few brief showers in spots with highs 80 to 85 this afternoon. Dropping to near 70 tonight and partly cloudy tomorrow. Still a chance for a brief shower, mostly dry. Your Saturday high into the mid-80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards' incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnick Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnick Buick GMC. Experience Used-Phoria with Car Bravo online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in because they are making a profit from you. That's the law. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty because they knew or should have known of the dangerous condition that caused your injury. It happens every day in many ways. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored. Falling boxes and items stacked too high. And so many other unexpected occurrences and dangers only known to that business owner. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, let our team investigate and report back to you. The duty to protect customers from harm is the law, and our duty is to protect you after that harm. Visit forthepeople.com for more information or on your cell phone dial #law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial *invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Are you passionate about addressing health disparities and improving the health of your neighbors? You could be the next American Heart Association First Coast Leader of Impact. Join the 2023 class of changemakers and compete to raise funds for life-saving research and inspire lasting change in our community. The campaign kicks off on World Heart Day, September 29th. Nominate yourself or another local leader by contacting AHA First Coast at heart.org today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys the biggest mystery about my room here in London.
What's that?
I walk into this thing, and there's a crib in my room.
For babies?
What else
Yeah,
would
for
a
babies.
crib be for?
I don't know.
Hey, Brent is suddenly talking with like slang.
I don't know. I thought it was a London thing.
It's like, hey, man, I found the crib.
It's a crib, isn't it? I don't know. Put it.
I was going to say like a dead raccoon under the bed or something. It's like that hotel's not so fancy after all.
Like for babies. Oh, man. Why is there a crib in my room?
Just in case you have a baby. You never know. It's 2023. Weirder things have happened.
Just let everybody know at the station that I'm putting all the radio equipment in the crib, so it'll be nestled for the night.
Very sweet.
In a good place.
I wonder if everybody got a crib. It's just like a standard operating procedure in London.
Welcome to London. Here's your crib.
I know. I gotta ask. What? We going picks or what?
Let's do it.
We're going picks, Brent. Heads up. Yeah. It's back.
Come on.
All right, the picks. What's the score, you may ask?
Time out. How funny would it have been if you hit this bed?
I tried
and
it before.
Don't preview things, Kasey. You're going to ruin all the fun.
I won't preview anything else, but I did preview this one.
Okay.
Also, Brian was saying some of his hockey's got messed up, so I was like, worst case scenario, this could be very, very bad. But we start with college football. Not a ton of it this week, but we will have two. The theme of this week's picks will be confusing lines. Like if this was a Jeopardy category, these would be the confusing lines.
All right.
The first one is this. The undefeated Utah Utes will go to Oregon State and play Oregon State, who just lost last week. But, confusing line number one, Utah +4 in this football game. +4, Brent. What say you?
Yeah, because Oregon State was ranked like 10th or something. Weren't
They're a
they
better
as high
team.
As 10 or 12, I think.
They were
13,
frauds. Frauds, Brent.
Yeah,
Not frauds.
Yeah, Utah's a little funky here. I'm going to go Utah anyway. They all take the points.
Aaron.
I'm going Oregon State in this one.
Ooh. All right, solid. Good reasoning. I will take Utah.
I'll just say it's a better look. I believed in their ranking. I understand they had a hiccup of the game, but I don't think Utah's a powerful team this year at all. I think they're actually a little bit ranked too high.
Interesting. Well, I think it's a confusing line. I will take the Utes. Confusing line number two. Well, maybe not. I guess it just should be a little larger, I believe. The Florida Gators, who I owe Brent Martineau a lunch for, but he owes me $500 on Colorado. No big deal. We'll go to Kentucky and be getting a 1.5 +1.5 for the Gators going to Kentucky, Brent.
I'm going to say Florida wins this game. Kentucky's not the way Kentucky's been when they've beaten the Gators in the past. Not that the Gators are in great shakes, but I think they find themselves a little bit. I like Florida.
Aaron.
It's hard for me to go Florida here. I didn't necessarily have much faith in them to start out the season. Certainly the boys have shown they got a little fight in them. It's in Kentucky?
Yes, sir.
We'll go Kentucky here.
So will I. I do not believe in the Florida Gators. To the NFL. Once again, folks, a confusing line coming to you. You may remember 5 days ago when the Denver Broncos gave up 70 points. How times have changed. They're now the favorite.
Well, they're playing a bad team.
By 2.5 points as they play the Chicago Bears. This will go down as the worst football game ever played. We're picking a gentleman, Brent. Broncos gave up 70 last week. Will they cover the 2.5 in Chicago.
This is such a hard game to pick. But I'm not taking Chicago after the way they've looked at all, so I'll take Denver.
Aaron?
I don't think it's a hard game to pick at all, guys. I think that the Broncos are going to treat this as a get-right game. Russell Wilson's been playing good ball. He's a top 10 quarterback by most metrics. I think the wide receivers are starting to come alive on Denver, too. They need the running game to wake up. They really need the defense. And you heard Vance Joseph put it all on his shoulders. And like, hey, that 70's on me. We won't do that again. I think they're going to take it out against a very bad, inept Chicago Bears team right now.
The Bears absolutely stink. The Broncos gave up 70. I will ride with the Bears because they have no point have given up 70 points since I've been alive.
That's a fair metric right there.
We will then go to the other side of the coin, which is the team that scored said 70 points with more still on the board that they left out there, being the Dolphins, who are now getting points after scoring 70. They will get 2.5 as they travel to Buffalo, Brent.
I really don't understand this line because Miami's so good right now. What you have to wonder is, can people stop them? And I respect Buffalo, and it's at Buffalo. I get all that. But I ain't picking against the Miami Dolphins, a team that just is off to a blazing start and put up 70 points and looks like a cheat code in the NFL on offense right now.
Aaron.
This is a tough one. I hate both of these teams equally. Like, if I had my way, I'd just wish for a chasm to open up at the stadium and swallow both teams. But I guess that's not going to happen. You guys are loving this Dolphins offense. They put up 36 against the Chargers. They put up 70 against the Broncos. And then they put up 24 against the Patriots. And guess what? This defense of Buffalo is better than the Patriots. I'm taking Buffalo, unfortunately.
After a quick math and mistake, I only had 5 games on the pick, so I got to pull up another one here on the spot, and we'll do it for you, Aaron. And I don't even like this already, but I'm doing it. 8.5's a lot of points. Jets are getting 8.5. Brent, Kansas City, right?
Yeah, I got to go Kansas City here.
What?
They're laughing at them now, so I got to go Kansas City. By the way, you never picked Dolphins or the Bills.
Dolphins, sorry.
Casey, so you got to make sure you do that.
All right, you said Dolphins.
Sorry, Brent. There was a missight. I started reading my 5 teams, and I was like, wait, we do 6 picks, and then I got scared.
You got freaked out.
And then I Googled it, and the first thing that came up was the Jets, and I was like, all right, whatever, it's fine.
The Jets.
Aaron?
I'm taking the Jets. This is a revenge game for Zach Wilson, 300 yards, 4+ touchdowns. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers in the building.
Yikes. Yikes, Aaron. Last game, first game of the NFL weekend, technically, if you don't count Thursday. Just go with me here, folks.
All right.
It'll be the Falcons and the Jags. It'll be in London. Brent will be there with his hat on.
Good eye. Oh, wait, that's Australia.
That's Australia, my friend.
Hello.
There you go. That's a little better.
Thank you.
The spread is 3. Jags will be favored by 3 points. No half, no hook, +3, or -3, I should say, for the Jags straight up. Brent, what's the situation?
We've picked so many Jags games over the years. We know what this feels like right now. 1-2. It doesn't feel good. I'm not crazy confident in this team, but I also just think they're too good to be 1-3, guys. Like, I legitimately think they're a pretty good football team. I'm not saying great, but not a 1-3 football team, and they're going to find the offense. I gave you all the numbers earlier this week at why the offense is better than what they're scoring. I think they find it and do enough. I think Atlanta's pesky. I don't think they're great, but I think they're pesky. They concern me, but I'm going to take the Jags to win it like 30-20 and find the offense here at Wembley Stadium.
I feel better about my pick already, Aaron.
Case, the last couple of weeks, I thought the Jags would win and win big.
You did.
And they lost big.
Yep.
So in an effort to keep my streak alive, I'm going Jaguars this week. I think they're going to get it done against the Falcons. I don't believe I'm a hex. I believe the boys will just do their job.
Yeah, I'll take the Falcons +3. No problem. No problem there. I will take the 3 points. Two teams that can't score at all, I'll take anybody that's getting any points.
Over-under on sacks for the Jaguars at half a sack. What do you got?
Half?
Yeah. I didn't think you would take the over on 1.5.
I'm considering not taking the over on half.
That's why I gave you half.
Brent, you think one of the DBs can get home on like a blitz?
Rayshon Jenkins getting 2 sacks?
They're going to get sacks. They're going to be in the lead, Casey.
Okay,
I think they finish the game.
Under.
I think they finish the game with 3 sacks. I think I told you this yesterday. I think Trayvon gets 1, Josh gets 2.
Oh, if you think it's 3, then let me get a better number than half.
You take 1.5. I'll take it.
1.5 under. I'm in. I'm locked in.
Desmond Ridder sacked 7 times last week, Brent.
C.J. Stroud sacked more than anybody in the league first 2 weeks. Jersey wasn't even dirty last week. That's all I'm saying.
You might have sweat.
It's all about it really comes down to whether they can run the ball or not. If Atlanta runs the football, then they're going to be effective. They can use play action. They can protect Ridder a little bit, and then you can't pin your ears back. So I think there's just two factors in the Jags now getting sacks. Stop the run, make them play on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, but also get the lead so you put them under the gun a little bit in the second half. So we'll see if it shakes out that way. Those are the picks. Before we take a break, I just saw this from MLB Communications. The average time of the 9-inning game on track to finish 2 hours and 40 minutes this year.
That's higher than I thought it would be.
30-minute decline. 30 minutes from 2021, 24 minutes shorter than 2022. They had a big-time attendance record, guys, this year. And then one other note as we wind down to the final weekend of the regular season in baseball. Kasey, did you see Miami? That game suspended. They might have to play like the final inning in New York.
Kasey, I was yelling about this the other day, man. Why is New York still playing any baseball at all? They should just give the Marlins the wins and send them on their way.
Yeah, Brent, you missed that. Aaron was pretty upset that the Mets still were doing their season and like still participating. But I was kind of very confused on that last night because I was watching football. And I'm not going to lie, I was watching a little Bachelor in Paradise, had a 2 TV situation going. So I was out. But then I'm on Twitter and I see the Marlins like reporters getting all upset. I'm like, what is happening? And then I see Schumacher getting all upset on the field. That was that was just dumb. I don't know what the umpires at MLB was doing.
It wasn't the umps at MLB. It was the grounds crew who didn't do their job. Apparently they heard my advice and closed up shop for the season.
They were listening to the show.
Yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
Well, the bottom line is, and they came back, they were down 1-0 in that game and came back and scored 2 in the 9th. So, I mean, if they win that game, they probably go to the wild card, even if they do have to finish it. But they're only 1 game up without that win. So, it's could be important. It could be a big one. We'll see how it shakes out in the final weekend. We've got a little drama in the NL wild card and not as much on the AL side of things. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. When we come back, a little birthday bash for Kasey Kuhrts, I think, from London to Jacksonville here on ESPN 690. Football at 5 around the corner. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. Blitz Scoreboard Show all on the way on a Friday evening back in Jacksonville.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water
at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah!
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 4th Annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside. Sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends.
Right.
September 28th to October 8th. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 28th to October 8th. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Dunk it.
Pregnancy can be an exciting time, but for many moms, it can mean feeling anxious, depressed, or confused. If you're experiencing this, connect with a mental health provider by visiting flbhimpact.org. This message is supported by the Health Resources and Services Administration, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
We're in the middle of it now, the fall season, as we hit October on the campus of the University of North Florida. Swoop with the Ospreys, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, golf, swimming programs, all in mid-season form. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. And coming soon, it's men's and women's basketball. The schedule is out, plenty of home games to attend. Bring the family. Season tickets are for sale. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFOspreys.com. And swoop for the Ospreys all season.
Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
I'm Adam Greathouse, United States Army.
Greg Gatson, Colonel, United States Army.
When I came back home, I realized something wasn't right with me.
I was wounded as a battalion commander.
I thought I was going to be stuck there. I thought everyone forgot me.
Hi, I'm Senator Rick Scott. We need to make sure our veterans get the support they earned and deserve. Please take the time to thank those who put everything on the line for us.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Brent Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Welcome back to Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. I am Aaron Schachter. Brent Martineau live from London, getting his fish and chips on in a swanky hotel that has baby cribs in the closet. And of course, it's the birthday boy, Kasey Kuhrts. Breaking news, it's Kasey's birthday tomorrow. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Woo! Kasey, you look like you're super excited to be having a birthday, and we're super excited to have a fun birthday with you. I want to review so far how well Kasey's birthday has gone, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
First of all, he's already received a gift, Brent, from the both of us, obviously. And it was in the form of Zaxby's. Got himself some boneless wings.
Very good.
Yeah, boneless wings. He got himself a little double ranch. Shout out to Amanda for the tip. Thank you very much. Second present Kasey's going to get.
Oh, no.
From me and Brent. It is a signed, an autographed glossy of Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling in a promo photo from The Notebook.
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately, they don't have a procrastination shipping thing, so this is going to come next week, I think.
Oh, boy.
But it's yours, Case. You can display it on your house and at your house and put it with your most prized graphed possessions or try and sell it back on eBay. Spoiler alert, it's a reprint. It's not an authentic.
I know it is, but that's okay, buddy. You did good.
But wait, there's more, Case.
Oh, no.
Another gift, Nothing Bundt Cakes. I got you a chocolate Nothing Bundt cake. I'm going to give it to you in the break. You can have it. I got myself a confetti. Got to reward the other guy, too. Poor Brent, he's got a baby crib, no Bundt cake. But wait.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting fatter just looking at it.
But wait, Brent, there's more. We have more for Kasey's birthday. Let's go to some celebrity calls celebrating Kasey's birthday. We're going to hear from a couple of local celebrities. 3, in fact, actually. One is not local, and that's fine because Kasey knows exactly who he is. Kasey, you mentioned Bachelor in Paradise. Let's hear from celebrity call number 1.
Hey,
Kasey.
It's Chris Harrison. I think you probably know where I am if you're a true Bachelor fan. Here at the Bachelor Mansion, and I had to come here to wish you a happy 26th birthday. Go out, make some horrible decisions. Kind of like all the decisions that are made here at the mansion.
Oh, boy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Case. Not Chris Hansen. What's his name?
Harrison.
Chris Hansen is the guy I like. Chris Harrison's the guy you like.
Oh, my
Chris Harrison for The Bachelor. No longer employed by The Bachelor. I just found that out in the last break.
No, he's
he
not.
didn't tell that to me when he was charging me $17,000 for that little call.
Yeah, he got fired, actually.
All right. Well, sorry about that. Shout out to Chris Harrison.
It's Jesse Palmer now.
Jesse Palmer, former quarterback. I saw that in the last break. I learned that today. All right, celebrity call number 2. Let's go to a local purveyor from Jacksonville.
Hi, Kasey. I'm Clayton Bromberg, and while we've never met, me and the folks at Underwood Jewelers have been serving this community since 1928. Coincidentally, that's the same year Brent Martineau was born. And so while I know the boys give you a hard time, I also know you shine bright like a diamond.
Like a diamond.
So please remember on this precious day, you're as valuable to us as a piece of gold.
True.
Gold with diamonds. Clayton Bromberg out.
Out. All right. That was Clayton Bromberg, owner and purveyor from Underwood's Jewelers, fine friend of the radio station.
Oh, no.
Shout out to Clayton Bromberg. And then, the piece de resistance Case.
Oh, no.
The Jags are in London, so you would have thought it would be hard to get this guy, but he makes time for Kasey Kuhrts. Let's go to number 3.
I'm scared.
Hey, Kasey, it's your good friend Trent Baalke. We just landed down here in London, but I wanted to take a break from my stargazy pie to give you a happy birthday shout out. I know it's been tough for you, young guy, but you keep at it every day. Just do your job, and I'm sure your 26th year will be a lot better than your 25th. As for your birthday present, I hope you like what I got you. It's a brand new wide receiver. I hope you don't mind. We had a few laying around, so I re-gifted one. Oh, one more thing before I go. I sat next to Martineau on the plane, and this weirdo told me he forgot to pack his underwear again. Please do something with this guy. All right, buddy. I'm off to eat some fish and chips. Happy birthday.
Very hungry Trent Baalke. Happy birthday, Case.
Oh, man. Thank you, man.
Welcome to your 26th year.
Appreciate it. Oh,
I can't believe Baalke remembered that I forgot my underwear that one time.
He doesn't have to think hard about it, man. I think he's pretty traumatized by it. Also, who knew that it wasn't a mechanic you were sitting next to? It was Trent Baalke.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. In disguise. One last thing here that I can't believe, of all the birthday gifts that you gave him, why didn't you give him special treatment? Since you are the guest scooper on Monday.
I am. That's true.
For Sundays on Monday.
That's right.
You could have brought him a Sunday on Friday.
Well, we don't actually have all the equipment on Friday. It's not Monday. So, unfortunately, Brent, your whole plan just fell apart. But, Case, if you want a Sunday on Monday, I'll be happy to deliver.
Because I stole all the whipped cream.
Yes, that's true. Criminal on the run. He's now on the lam to London.
That was awesome stuff. You know what I want, Kasey? I want to go have a secret camera recording Schachter while he's making all those celebrity calls.
First of all, the insinuation that I made those celebrity calls is really insulting. Number one, I heard the real Chris Harrison on that clip.
You did.
I did.
That's a good point. Did.
And if he hears it, he's going to charge me the $300 it would cost for a cameo.
Is it really?
That's what he's charging as an unemployed former host.
He's got to make his money somehow. Holy
$300.
Oh, yeah. It's not cheap for Kasey's birthday.
I wonder who would you want to call in, Kasey? You got anybody?
Clayton Bromberg.
Clayton Bromberg.
He did call it.
He did. Yeah, it was great. It was
I
perfect.
almost reached out to Matthew Wright again for the 7th time since I joined the show.
Is right before I walked out of the room a second ago, when you said what you said, I was like, "Is there? Did he do this again?" But
that would have been funny. I should have thought of that.
Oh man!
But
that
I'm happy,
would have been
man.
really
Happy
funny,
birthday.
actually. And you, happy birthday to you. You would have been, by the way, you might have been harassment for the Matthew Wright if you had reached out one more time.
I think he's blocked.
Yeah, he may have already blocked me, but there's definitely an order of protection against me at this point.
Because he's been in them DMs, boy.
All he's got to do is acknowledge Kasey's existence, and I'll leave him alone.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate
You're a
that.
person, Case.
I am.
Shout out to Chip and Teresa for that.
Hey, they
did the work 26 years ago.
I didn't do anything. I wasn't
They
even
put in
there.
the work, yeah.
They had a crib in their room too. I almost, because I know when we had an Austin shout out from Jorge Masvidal, you really like that, Kasey. So I almost tried to get like Trevor to shout out a happy birthday for you today.
Would have been awesome.
That would have been something.
Not as awesome as Clayton Bromberg, but
Yeah,
awesome.
we would have been a close second to Clayton Bromberg. That Jorge Masvidal thing was hilarious.
Clayton's a legend.
He is. Tell you what.
It didn't work, unfortunately.
That's okay. Thanks, Brent. It's a thought that
it
counts.
is going to be your. It is going to be your birthday, regardless of what happens or who says happy birthday. So
true.
We hope you have a good one. 5 o'clock hour coming up in Jacksonville. We're already on hour number 3. How about that?
Look at it go.
10 o'clock here London time, folks. We'll get the Blitz Scoreboard Show tonight, 9 o'clock. That will be, of course, with Kevin Sullivan, Kasey Kuhrts, and myself. We'll show you some live action from around the high school area. Week 6 of the high school football season, believe it or not, presented by DeVoley's House of Cards, Baker Sports, and Nimnik Buick GMC. We'll be right back.
Come on, honey. It's so hot that...
It's too hot for your cheesy riddles.
Come on, please. It's so hot that...
Fine. How hot is it?
It's so hot, chickens are laying hard-boiled eggs. It's so hot, we're boiling pasta in the pool. It's so hot that...
Yeah, I get it. It's hot.
It's not just hot. It's Hammond hot.
And only Hammond can handle Hammond Hot. Any AC company can handle kind of hot, sort of hot, maybe even pretty hot. But when your system is running 24 hours a day, you can't get to the temperature you want, and you strategically open and close vents to redirect air, that's when you have to call Hammond. After all, Hammond has been North Florida's most trusted AC authority for your neighbors since 1957. With techs who not only know how to get your system running again, but also how to keep it running at peak efficiency and performance. Remember, only Hammond can handle Hammond Hot. HammondAir.com.
We're in the middle of it now, the fall season, as we hit October on the campus of the University of North Florida. Swoop with the Ospreys, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, golf, swimming programs, all in mid-season form. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. And coming soon, it's men's and women's basketball. The schedule is out, plenty of home games to attend. Bring the family. Season tickets are for sale. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFOspreys.com. And swoop for the Ospreys all season.
If your restaurant has slow bathroom drains and grease blockages, call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining's high-pressure sewer jetting and camera inspection of the drains will assure your peace of mind at your restaurant. Request a free estimate at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Wenner, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial ** Invests from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Hey, listen to this. 4 weeks in with Awaken 180 weight loss, and I'm a new man, 25 pounds lighter. Hey, it's Brian Middleton, and I've got so much energy now. And you should see me on the basketball court, keeping up with guys 10 years younger than me. Ain't that something? And stairs? I'm not just walking, I'm jogging up the steps, both at home and at work. And the best part, I get to the top, I'm not even winded. Now, my Awaken 180 coach Jenna let me in on something last week, which 100% makes sense. For every pound I'm losing, it takes 4 pounds of pressure off my knees. That's 100 pounds less pressure by losing just 25 pounds. Imagine how your joints would feel with 100 or even 200 pounds less pressure on them. Now I'm anticipating how much greater I'm going to feel after dropping the next 25 pounds with Awaken 180. Want the same results? Reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800.
Ronald McDonald House Charities of Jacksonville is celebrating 35 years of supporting the health and well-being of critically ill children and their families who need to be near a hospital. To learn more, visit rmhcjacksonville.org.
Okay, everyone, gather around. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA PreCheck with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA PreCheck. Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Raiders defensive lineman Chandler Jones lashed out at the team on social media on Labor Day weekend. He's been away from the team since, and now he's in jail. Arrested today after allegedly violating a protective order in a domestic violence case. The Bills host the Dolphins Sunday. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky says Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen will have to be at his swashbuckling best.
This is a game that Josh is going to make some of those plays where we go, no, yes.
Yeah.
No. He's got to put on the cape.
That's the Allen roller coaster, yeah.
And that's in many ways, like when this team would play the Chiefs, that's what the method was, that Josh is going to have to go play some Superman hero ball.
Dan Orlovsky on Get Up. The NFL is raising the punishment for players who place bets on their own team's games to a minimum 2-year suspension. The penalties are cut for players who make non-NFL bets at a team facility. 2 rookie quarterbacks back in the starting lineup Sunday. Anthony Richardson of the Colts, Bryce Young of the Panthers.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up on Monday, I'll tell you all the small things I saw this weekend that you need to know. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available.
Enter the word WISH at ESPN690.com. That's WISH by 15 past the hour.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens Monday morning at 8 a.m. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow!
It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, Football at 5, we go here on a Friday. I'm going to say it all the time now because I heard Aaron doesn't like it.
That's what I like about you, Brent.
That's the part you heard from the show yesterday. Gotcha.
I did. Yeah, I even live tweeted during listening to that part of the show. As you know, hey, no different than the Jags losing 17-37 last Sunday, right? I mean, it happened.
It happens. There was another part you missed
Brent
that might have been
Martineau, Aaron
tweeted.
Schachter. Oh, I'll have to go back and listen. Kasey Kuhrts, Aaron Schachter, and Brent Martineau. I felt like I had to go back and reintroduce ourselves because it would have sounded weird just with Kasey Kuhrts.
Hey, all right. Man of the year. Just kidding. Not me.
I almost got you a shirt with my
Larry
face
here
on
in
it.
London.
There was a big face on it. I almost got it for the both of you. That was going to be your birthday present that I was going to make you wear, Case, where it says Man of the Year with a huge Aaron face on it.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny. Maybe
No,
out
Christmas
of
is
those
on the
family
way.
photos.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
looked good that day.
Nah, thank you.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you, Case. Thanks.
Hey, we're getting a little punchy around here. I think that's we play that or
We
say
do.
that a lot, but it might be real. It's 10 o'clock here in London. It's a Friday afternoon into evening back home in Jacksonville. Hope everybody's heading into a good weekend. We got Blitz Scoreboard Show tonight with high school football. Kevin Sullivan's going to join us in a little bit. Week 6 of the high school season. And tomorrow we've got a bunch of college football, of course, and then the Jags play on Sunday early in the morning. Just a reminder, 9:30 game on Fox 30 for the Jags, 8:30 countdown to kickoff. So it'll be early. And like I said today, you're either going to have a very good Sunday after what happens by noon, or it's going to be a very long Sunday, because I don't think anybody in their wildest imagination, guys, would have predicted the Jags being 1-3 after the first month of the season if they lose to the Falcons.
No, I feel like nobody saw that coming, did they?
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, like you could be Debbie Downer, negative, whatever, but this team out of the gates being 1-3, like I think worst case 2-2, you could definitely get there with Kansas City and maybe Atlanta, but you figure they would beat Indianapolis and Houston, and that's the problem right now. So they got to do some work on Sunday, and they maybe have to do some work the following Sunday as well to kind of flip this back in the right direction. A guy that could flip it in the right direction to me is Evan Ingram. He is off to a very nice start. I think I heard Aaron say earlier in the show, third most receptions in the NFL for tight ends. I saw another metric where he was fourth in the NFL with yards after the catch.
That was
and
leading.
I think that was everybody.
Yeah, that's the whole league is Evan Ingram doing work with Yak. Although a lot of that has to do with these screens he's able to catch. But we were talking yesterday about it, Brent, and me and Case agree. Evan Ingram, even though he's got this thin frame and can run like a gazelle, he runs violently.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. He plays tough, right? I mean, he really, if you think about guys that give the Jags physical toughness that jumps off, the field or the TV, depending on how you're watching, I think he's one of those guys. And I think Andre Sisco is that on defense, right? I think we say that quite a bit. He can lay the wood, and he does a nice job of being physical. It's a physical game, so they're all physical. But I think Evan Ingram really does a nice job of that on the offensive side. Like Travis Etienne, he takes hits, but he's not a physical back. I mean, he's more explosive back, and that's kind of the point of the conversation. If there's one guy that could have been doing worse at the outset of the season, guys, I would think we see this in sports. I'm not saying specific to Evan, but we see it in sports when a guy signs a big deal, gets an extension. He gets off to maybe a slow start. I mean, you've seen it with Joe Burrow. I mean, 2 days before the season started, he signed that mega deal, and he's really off to a slow start now because of injury as well. But the bottom line is he is off to a slow start. I think Evan Ingram's been just the opposite. He is validating exactly why you extended him. These aren't like Kelsey numbers and massive numbers, but they are consistent. He's always there. When he catches it, it's usually a big play. The yards after catch, the physical part of this, the mentality that he has, I think spreads throughout the locker room. In fact, Evan Ingram, guys, is one of the reasons that I think there is no panic on this Jacksonville Jaguars team right now, because his leadership and his toughness, and I think he's been through so many battles from New York to last year here in Jacksonville. Do you guys feel the same way?
He certainly has shown that he's mentally tough. And to your point, going back to those New York days, it wasn't easy for him after that rookie year. Everyone kind of piled on there, even though he wasn't the real reason for all those issues if you look at who he had on the team. But on this team, yeah, he's pretty much the lone bright spot on that offense outside of Trevor and maybe even a little Walker Little. So you can't not be excited about the work Evan Ingram's getting done this season.
Well, we got a couple-minute conversation with Evan Ingram. I caught up with him today at the Grove after practice. He was looking forward to catching a little bit of sleep as well, but also looking forward to getting in the win column on Sunday. We're here in London with Jags tight end Evan Ingram, probably about ready to get a little shut-eye after a long night. You got to shake some stuff out on the practice field. How was it to get acclimated over here as quick as possible?
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. Nice little travel day for us. Got out here at the Grove, and, they're taking good care of us. We're being smart with our bodies, got a good practice in, good sweat, moving around smart, finishing the little details for the game.
How much of this is mental, where you just have to embrace the idea of playing here, especially this first one? Next week might be a little easy because you'll be acclimated more.
Yeah, it's definitely a little mental challenge added to the week. We literally got on playing right off the practice field yesterday and literally felt like we just hopped right back on. So definitely a little mental challenge, but our team is built for it. A great opportunity for us to come out here and get a W. Give us a sense of what you guys are feeling, a sense of urgency. No panic. Where are you at? Man, we're just ready to win. Ready to win. We know we got the talent. We know we got the pieces. We just gotta go out and execute a lot better than we have been, and that's the mission. We're all on the same page, and we're excited about the op. You had a big second half. You're off to a nice start here after signing that big extension. And while some people say the offense might look out of sync, and maybe it has been out of sync, looks like you and Trevor are kind of in a groove. Do you feel that way? Yeah, we're playing pretty smooth. We're playing with a lot of confidence. I know he has a lot of confidence even through adversity. I have a lot of confidence even through the adversity. And so, we got to keep up. We got to keep up the work and do a little bit more. We're not winning, so it's technically not enough. So we're going to continue to work. I'm going to continue to make plays for my team, and hopefully we can continue to build on the success we've been having. I think I saw a number, top 5 in the league in yards after catch. You were good at that last year too, probably your entire career going all the way back. But how important is that number to you once you get the football in your hands? Yeah, I mean, it's you look at all the big-time players in the league, they can do something special with the ball in their hands, and that's something I work on a lot. It's a true testament of being confident with the football and just trying to be special for my team and make a play. So definitely something I take pride in, and some I'm going to continue to improve at. Good luck Sunday, man. Appreciate you.
That is Evan Ingram, Jaguars tight end. How good of a start is he off to, guys? Well, he's got 18 catches. That's the most on the Jacksonville Jaguars this season, even with Kirk and Ridley, and obviously Zay Jones missed last week's game. He also is one of 3 players. How weird is this? 3 players for the Jags have exactly 173 yards so far this season receiving.
That's so weird.
Kirk, Ingram, and Ridley. Yeah, that's such a bizarre stat 3 games in. I just projected him out a little bit now. He's coming off a career year and a franchise record year for the Jacksonville Jaguars at the tight end position. Well, if you project his numbers, he's on pace for around 100 receptions and 1,000 yards.
That's a huge
100 receptions
monster
and 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I'm not telling you he's going to keep this pace, but I also don't think he's like Kirk had the one game where he had 11 catches, and the other 2 games he's got 5. Ingram's been very consistent, is my point, through the first 3 weeks. Keep feeding him the ball. Keep him involved in the offense. The yards after a catch are big things because when he does catch it, it seems like they're going for first downs and then some. He has by far the most yards after catch. ETN is next on the team with 85. Ingram's got 126. So right now, he's the guy to get the football to. I mean, he's been the most consistent, most reliable. He's been with Trevor a bit, and he might be on his way to another career year and record-breaking year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Aaron, do not trade Evan Ingram away, but there are trades that involve 3 teams that you have on your mind. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, a 3-team trade in the NFL is super rare, if ever happened. I don't think it has, actually. You see them all the time. As a matter of fact, it happened this week in the NBA. Dame Lillard got traded.
Yeah, it did.
And it was a huge blockbuster trade. And they kind of go down like that in the NBA a lot. And I've seen a couple of multi-team trades in baseball, but it's not nearly as common as it is in the NBA. But you just never see them in the NFL. And CBS Sports has a piece out today that I thought I'd bring to the table. Shout out to Tyler Sullivan. And they have 2 3-team trades that are pretty interesting to me. One involving my Jets that doesn't seem so reckless, but I don't love. The other one, though, is a wild, wild scenario. Let me get to this first one first with the Cowboys, Jets, and Vikings. You guys tell me what you think about this. In this scenario, the Jets finally get a quarterback that can play football in Kirk Cousins. The Vikings pick up the Jets' 2025 second-rounder. Can't be the 2024 because that belongs to the Packers.
Nice.
The Cowboys' 24 fourth-round pick and Trey Lance. Right off the bat, I'm telling you, it doesn't seem like Vikings are getting their value there for giving up Kirk Cousins, but fine. Kirk, in the last year of his deal, an aging Kirk Cousins, obviously the Vikings looking to move on, and the idea behind the trade is that you're already 0-4 likely, or hopefully not for them, but they might be 0-4 and considering it. The Cowboys get DJ Reed from the Jets, and I don't necessarily love giving up DJ Reed as a Jet fan because he is a great corner on that team, but if you're getting Kirk Cousins, I'm like, all right, maybe they can make this work. What do you guys think about those that configuration?
All right, do it again just so we can digest it a little bit better. Kirk Cousins, DJ Reed, what's the other one?
And then the Vikings get a second-rounder in 25 and a fourth-rounder in 24 and Trey Lance from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think it sounds good for the Jets.
Right?
I don't
it
know
even
if it
sounds good for the Cowboys.
Vikings,
the Cowboys ditch Trey Lance. They get DJ Reed to take over for, was it Trayvon Diggs who hurt himself?
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
Trayvon Diggs who hurt himself?
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
And the Vikings, I guess, are in rebuild mode, so they might welcome the young player and the 2 draft picks, but I really think you need more value, especially if you're looking at the Jets going, these guys are over a barrel right now.
Yeah, the draft picks are valuable for the Vikings who are trying to reset things. So, yeah, I don't hate it. You unload the salary. You're not going to keep him. You get something for him. I just feel like I wonder if they feel like they can get a lot more than that for Cousins, even though time will run out sooner or later. But there might be multiple teams. Like, why wouldn't Atlanta maybe be interested?
I think they would be, yeah.
The Jets. Somebody else could get hurt. So I wonder if you could get a little bit more. I like the idea of it, though. And you bring up a good point. I don't know why. Why does the NBA have 3-way trades and the NFL doesn't? Sometimes we see them in baseball, not often, but we do see them. Kind of unique that basketball has them more than anybody.
I think it has a lot to do with the contracts and the guaranteed money. And the fact is, when you're dealing basketball players, even the most mediocre basketball player is making close to a 9-figure deal, depending on what's left in the contract. And baseball also has those inflated contracts, but I don't think they operate the same way that basketball contracts do in that case. But the fact that NFL has no guaranteed money, you don't necessarily need multiple teams to pull off a trade to do some financial finagling. We all know there's wizardry happening in front offices when it comes to the salary cap. I think that's probably the reason you don't need multiple dance partners. But, I mean, if Kirk Cousins coming to the Jets, I can get behind that. I want to get this second trade off to you guys, though, because this is one of those wild video game fantasy football trades that you never see happen in real life. But man, would this be a top story for 3.5 months? Check this out. In this scenario, Brent, the Chiefs get Mike Evans, the Bucks get Justin Fields, and the Bears get Chris Jones.
Who the Chiefs get again? Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Boy, those are 3 big names, huh? That's a big name trade. I'm trying to think for the Bucks. The Bucks, they're not going to get anything anyway. You get a young quarterback, give him a change of scenery. Don't hate it. Chris Jones going to Chicago. They need a quarterback. They're not going to win. Why would Chris Jones would hate Chicago right now? Because they're just going to probably tank or have 2 picks in the top 5. And it's while I think it's a good move because I do believe Kansas City needs somebody else along with Kelce to rely on. That would be a pretty fun one. I think Chris Jones is pretty valuable and even more valuable than I would have said before he played the Jags until he dominated that freaking game and basically won it for him.
He did show you when he came into that Jags games that he's more than just a force to be reckoned with. He's a game changer out there, Case. But I got to ask you, man, you're kind of a sideways Bucs fan a little bit. What do you think about Kyle Trask sitting there at QB number 2?
Yep.
How are you feeling about Justin Fields on the team?
Well, I would say goodbye to Kyle Trask ever getting to play, but it sounds like Baker might be doing that anyway. I don't know. I think it's fascinating because Kansas City does need somebody. Mike Evans and Kelce would be a whole problem. Chris Jones would be furious. There's no other way to put it.
Sure, but he asked for it, man. He wanted that one-year deal. Now he's got it.
And that's the thing. Maybe if he just gets paid, he doesn't really care where he's at. I don't know. We'll see. And then
I just don't understand why the Bears would be okay with Chris Jones. Clearly, they need help on offense right now.
Yeah, but if they can just figure out how to lose out, they can get Caleb Williams, and then you've got Caleb Williams and Chris Jones.
That's the other part of this trade that is basically smelling like a tank is once you give up Justin Fields,
it's over.
It's over. Like, who are you putting in there?
Yeah, nobody. You're just obviously going to have 2 picks in the top 5, or that's your hope. I want to ask you guys this in a second. How long can the Jets fake the charade of Zach Wilson being their quarterback? Like, when it's already ticking, it might already be too long, but how much longer will it go? As you were talking about 3-team trades, though, Darian Newsom out of our Action News Jax news department. Thanks for listening, Darian. He brought up a blockbuster trade on Halloween of 1987, and you know what? I remember this one. Kasey, you wouldn't. Aaron,
of course not.
Is this Herschel Walker?
3-team trade.
Who's this?
Nope, this was Los Angeles Rams, Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, and Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, Dickerson
was the key component of that. The deal involved 10 players and draft choices.
Wow.
Only 4 other deals in the NFL had ever had more players involved prior to that one. Now, you go back to Herschel Walker later would, I think, have a bunch of players involved as well. So there's been some, but that showed you the domino of Eric Dickerson. What's interesting in some of the trades that you proposed is you don't usually see multiple big stars move, Aaron. Usually see one at the forefront and then a bunch of draft picks and maybe other players being compensated, even in this example, especially with Eric Dickerson. So that's what would change. But, times have changed too, or some 40-something years later. It would be a fun one to discuss. And in any of those scenarios that you painted, you could see some positives for each team, but maybe not enough for a team like Minnesota for Cousins. I really like your second one, though, because that one would give I think every team something of value.
Well, here's what I love about that second trade is that right now, any trade that gets made in this league that involves draft picks, you never find out who wins the trade because teams ultimately trade those draft picks most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Jaguars, and then you make your 13 selections on draft night.
And none of them impact the game for the first quarter of the season.
But the reality is, a lot of times you'll see these big trades go down, and then the very next draft, those picks get moved again, and then again, and then again. So when you read about who came out on top of those trades, it's not, well, the Rams got this. It's that the Rams turned that pick into a trade that turned into another trade for this guy. But at some point, it's a funny stat because you don't have to stop there. You can just go until you find your win. Whereas in this second trade I proposed to you that CBS Sports is writing about, Mike Evans to the Chiefs, Justin Fields to the Bucks, Chris Jones to the Bears, you will know at the end of the season who won that trade.
But the crazy thing also is you'll know who won, and everybody solves a problem. Like the Bears have a Fields problem because they were going to want Caleb Williams if they can, but they still would have Fields. Chris Jones, yeah, they figured out a one-year thing, but Chris Jones wants to get paid, and the Chiefs don't really want to pay him. Same deal with Mike Evans in Tampa. So, you all lose a good player, everybody gets a good player, but everybody also kind of gets rid of a problem that they had.
Who's the loser in this deal case? Who rank them, who wins and who loses? I think the Chiefs make out the best with Mike Evans. You take a Super Bowl caliber team, and you make them that much more Super Bowl caliber. I think the Bears getting Chris Jones over the Bucks getting Justin Fields, because I'm not so much a believer in Justin Fields anymore, but that could change with a couple of good games. I don't know. It'll be close there.
I would put it in the same order. Obviously, the Chiefs win. I know Chris Jones losing him is a big part of this, but
if you're scoring 60 a game, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, there is that, and then I guess I would put Chicago at 2, but it's hard to don't get me wrong, they're looking great at losing. They look like they're the best at it. But it's hard to lose all the way through. So do they accidentally backdoor themselves into not Caleb Williams? Then that would be a disaster.
Disaster.
And then Fields can sit for a bit, figure things out, and then inevitably Baker will lose the job you put Fields in, and maybe it's good. Who knows?
Brent, just so you know, the quarterback behind Justin Fields, Nathan Peterman.
They signed him back?
So he's back. He's
back. Okay, because I knew they had dropped him, and then he came back. Okay. Former Bartram Trail quarterback, by the way. Before we hit a break and let Aaron go and talk some high school football on the other side, when you talk about Zach Wilson, I want to get to in a second, but let's stay on Fields. Is Fields a Chicago problem, or is it a Fields problem? because, again, I'm a little biased here. I thought Fields was a good player. I thought he was trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it was overboard to do the MVP stuff and everything like that. But I'm just wondering if it's a situational thing in Chicago with what they've got around him, with what's not working, with the coaching staff, whatever. And in that scenario, if he's something to rescue still, like if there's something to work with, then the Bucs really could be a huge winner in that. For pretty low risk, because you're not keeping Mike Evans around after this year anyway.
Yeah, Mike Evans, by all accounts, is gone. He gave the Bucs a deadline of September 9th to renegotiate an extension with him. When they failed that extension, he said he will not be around next season. Time will tell to see if he keeps his word, but I'd like to believe Mike Evans because I'd like to see him in green and white, but that's on me. Don't worry about that. I do think if the Chiefs were to pull a move like this and get a superstar wide receiver, all bets are off, man. That just, especially in a year where the Bengals are down and you're not really sure about the Bills yet. You got a couple of new teams rising up there. But when it comes to Justin Fields, I definitely think that's a Chicago problem. Zero consistency in the coaching staff. You see changeover there, whether it's offensive coordinator or head coach, almost every 2 years on average, but certainly year over year when it comes to coordinators. And they tried to build a team around this kid. They really did. They tried to give him some tools this year. Certainly, they got him a number one wide receiver. They rebuilt that backfield. They really did work on that defense, and it's just not working out for him right now.
Yeah, I think it's a Chicago problem, but I also think there's part of it that's a Justin Fields in Chicago problem.
Explain a little bit.
He has to just get out of Chicago.
So you think Chicago is cursed?
Like, I don't think he can.
As a franchise.
I don't think he'll ever, after this thing has happened, I don't believe he's bad. But I think now in Chicago, no matter what happens, he'll never get the fair shake anymore. Like, he had the chance. It's been bad. Whether the organization's actually the problem, whether his teammates are the problem, whether he's the problem and we just don't know it yet, or maybe the Bears do know it and everybody else doesn't. Like, he just has to get out of Chicago, and then I think we can judge Justin Fields.
Matt Nagy, year 1. Eberflus, year 2. And then Getsy comes on year 3 as offensive coordinator. You got to give the kid some consistency.
Yeah, it's very hard to do it and be successful with all that inconsistency with the offensive coordinator. All right, last thing before you go. Zach Wilson, how much longer are they going to fake the charade? Is it going to be another month? Is it going to be through the season? Is it going to be another week? They're going to get probably their butts whooped against Kansas City. Their defense of Kansas City, by the way, playing excellent football right now. So Zach Wilson's probably going to have a tough day. Is this it for him? How much longer can you fake it if you're Robert Saleh?
I think 3 options remain for the Jets. Obviously, the first one is chasing Kirk Cousins. I think that's the least probable thing to happen. If I had to make the call right now, I would bet Kirk Cousins is a Viking next year for another year or so. Option number 2 is that Trevor Siemian comes on and the former near Pro Bowl alternate balls out. But I really don't think that's going to happen either. I think they're going to get Trevor Siemian in camp. I think it's going to take some time, and I don't think he's the answer, and I don't think he'll be better than Zach Wilson behind that offensive line. I think Zach Wilson will start for most of the rest of the season. If he has a terrible game against Kansas City, I think they may install Siemian when they go play Denver. And it may even work for a week if Denver's defense is that bad. But I do believe Zach Wilson has talent. He's just scared to operate. And I got to believe at some point during the season it gets easier for him. But I also got to believe that if Joe Douglas isn't getting fired after this year, he's hoping they keep Zach Wilson in so they get a shot at a big-time quarterback.
Kasey, is he out of here after this week or what?
Yeah, probably next week would be my guess. At least let him play Denver. You know, because they gave up 70. You guys remember that from earlier in the show. And then last week when they gave up 70 points in the NFL, which is just atrocious. So let him play against Denver. And if he can't put up at least 20 on Denver, he's got no business doing it, just to be real. Then give it to Siemian and lose some more. I don't know.
Somehow they beat the Bills. They get the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Eagles, then the Giants and Chargers. Then they go Raiders and Bills, and then Dolphins. So, like, everything, they got the Broncos, the Giants, the Raiders in that stretch that are winnable games, you would say, on paper. I mean, if he doesn't win one of those games, especially the Broncos or Giants, I mean, there's no way he's making it through October, in my opinion. But I'm not sure he makes it more than a couple of weeks. Maybe that Broncos one is it. If they can only score like 13 points when somebody else puts 70 on them, that might be the tell, like, okay, it's time to move. And again, this has nothing to do with Zach Wilson. To me, this has more to do with the locker room now. It's just pretty obvious they don't believe in him. And I don't think that's changing.
No.
Even if they got lucky for a week and actually have a pretty good performance. Aaron Schachter, nice job with the birthday celebrations. Good job with the family photos as well. And have yourself a great weekend.
Appreciate it,
all
buddy.
the work.
Thank you.
I mean, it's your job.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. We're not going anywhere. Football at 5 continues. Kevin Sullivan joins us. We talk a little high school football. Get you set for the Blitz Scoreboard Show from Jacksonville to London. It's Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and mild tonight. Temperatures dropping to near 70 degrees. Your Saturday will be partly cloudy. There is the chance for a brief shower or two, a little breezy at times, but there will be plenty of dry hours and afternoon highs close to 85. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
The World Poker Tour will be at Best Bet Jacksonville from October 26th through November 14th. This exciting tournament series will feature 14 poker tournaments, including Event 1, $200,000 guarantee, Event 6, $300,000 guarantee, and the $1 million guaranteed main event. Don't miss out on the World Poker Tour Championship. Satellites are going on now. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Come on, honey. It's so hot that...
It's too hot for your cheesy riddles.
Come on, please. It's so hot that...
Fine. How hot is it?
It's so hot, chickens are laying hard-boiled eggs. It's so hot, we're boiling pasta in the pool. It's so hot that...
Yeah, I get it. It's hot.
It's not just hot. It's Hammond hot.
And only Hammond can handle Hammond Hot. Any AC company can handle kind of hot, sort of hot, maybe even pretty hot. But when your system is running 24 hours a day, you can't get to the temperature you want, and you strategically open and close vents to redirect air, that's when you have to call Hammond. After all, Hammond has been North Florida's most trusted AC authority for your neighbors since 1957. With techs who not only know how to get your system running again, but also how to keep it running at peak efficiency and performance. Remember, only Hammond can handle Hammond Hot. HammondAir.com.
It's the future of joint pain relief, and it's here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine, and it's amazing stuff. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, well, don't be so fast to go there. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. And we're talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. Play pickleball, go for a walk, play golf, play with the kids. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and you want to stay in motion. And QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. All you have to do for a free consultation, call 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah!
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 4th Annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside. Sponsored by One-to-One Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends.
Right.
September 28th to October 8th. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 28th to October 8th. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, One-to-One Financial. Duncan.
Make the superior choice when you hire a plumber. From unclogging drains and water heater repairs to complete cast iron pipe replacements, Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has you covered. Request a free estimate from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
We're in the middle of it now, the fall season, as we hit October on the campus of the University of North Florida. Swoop with the Ospreys, soccer, cross country, volleyball, golf, swimming programs, all in mid-season form. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. And coming soon, it's men's and women's basketball. The schedule is out, plenty of home games to attend. Bring the family. Season tickets
are for sale. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFOspreys.com and swoop for the Ospreys all season.
On average, an artificial limb for a child starts at $5,000, and the first prosthetic for an adult can cost up to $50,000, making it nearly impossible for disabled children or veterans to afford the limb they need. At Life Giving Limbs, we cover the cost of these prosthetics, giving recipients a chance at receiving a new limb and a new start on life. Please help by donating now. Visit lifegivinglimbs.com or call 469-601-8523.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, welcome back. Football at 5. Brent Martineau here in London. Jaguars arrived at 6:30 this morning. We were on the team playing with them, and since then, kind of just killed a little time. Practice, a little player availability. We heard from Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram. Shared that conversation with you a little bit earlier on in the show here on Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Jags will make a couple of players will be at a local store. Tony Baselli will be there, also Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk tomorrow afternoon. There's a pub party tomorrow at 4 o'clock for all the Jags fans. That's right near central London, so hopefully we'll run into some of the folks. There's a lot of people that made the trip over, that at least that I've heard about, and so we'll see how many we see throughout the streets of London, of course, Sunday at Wembley Stadium as we gear up for that big football game for the Jags who need a win. And then the first team to ever play 2 games back-to-back over here in London. The Jags will be the visiting team against the Buffalo Bills next Sunday. So that's the story from London so far. We do have the Blitz Scoreboard Show coming up tonight at 9 o'clock, as always, on a Friday night, Week 6 of the high school football season. Brent Martineau here right now, and we'll be joined by Kasey Kuhrts, who's back in the Action Sports Jack studios, and we'll also be joined by our Hall of Fame analyst, Kevin Sullivan. He joins us right now to preview the Blitz Scoreboard Show and also preview Week 6 of the high school football season on ESPN 690. And, Coach, we're more than halfway home. We've already got a playoff clincher. We've got some more district battles coming up tonight. We're starting to get into the month of October, and that's where things get real serious.
Well, the good thing is you sound the same as you do if you're right down the road from me, so I can hear you loud and clear from across the pond.
Well, yeah. Hey, by the way, if you look out your front porch, you can just yell to me probably across the pond, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah, going to be fun. Week 6, it's crazy. It's how fast it goes in the big district games tonight. Maybe a couple elimination games tonight for a couple teams that are already 0-1 in the district and have big, tall tasks tonight.
Coach, we talk so much about the quarterbacks this year. We have so many talented ones. It's a great crop. Unfortunately, they haven't all played. In fact, Riley Trujillo missed a couple, came back last week. One of the great stories of last week, we talked about this, Dylan Cook, who was actually our player of the week on the Friday Night Blitz. He comes in. He's a guy that just got 2 starts instead of Lachlan Hewlett, who was out with an injury. And he throws up 324 yards and beats Bartram Trail. Really cool moment for him and a good story. James Resar is out right now with a calf injury for Bishop Kenny, the Iowa commit. So we know we have a bunch of good quarterbacks, but gosh, Coach, we're just hoping they all make it to the end of the season and hopefully the postseason.
Yeah, nowadays, a lot of those guys are runners also. So, you take in consideration of them not only handling the ball every snap, throwing it, but now a lot of them are runners. We know Rissar's a runner. Trujillo can run. Most of those guys can run. And I think, that might have been the reason we've lost a couple guys for some injuries or whatnot. And again, there's been some injuries this year, and I had a talk to one of the coaches, and part of it might be a little bit of what I call old school stretching. They don't do any old school stretching anymore. These coaches, they all do this static and dynamic stretch and movement, stretching that, but nobody sits down and does some old school stretching anymore. Maybe we need to get that back into a fad and help these youngsters out.
How much is it talked about in the football circles with injuries of just, kind of like we do in baseball with overuse, right? Playing so much, there's not enough. Now, football's, you think Friday night, but football's bigger than that. They have the heavy summer workouts, the spring season, which is not long, but they do have it. And then, of course, many of these kids are playing 7-on-7s in the summer as well. I mean, could some of these injuries, I'm not talking specific, just as a general idea, be because of overuse as well, even on the football field?
Yeah, I mean, there could be some overuse injuries, but usually most of the quarterbacks, they sort of like pitchers. They take care of themselves, and especially some of the guys that we have that are already committed big time to some of these schools, they're going to take care of themselves, especially in that game. And with the exception of Lachlan Hewlett, who must be hurt because he missed one game, which probably didn't need him, but last week you think for sure. So he must really have something going on to keep him out. Some of these might be preventative. Hey, we probably can play the backup tonight and get by this game. Maybe that's some of the thinking on the coach. Be preventative because some of these guys not just are 10-week players. We're talking about playoff deep runs and everything. You want to make sure you got all your weapons ready for the playoff run late in the year.
Yeah, Kevin Sullivan joining us here on ESPN 690. Brent Friends will have the Blitz Scoreboard Show presented by Nidnick Buick GMC. Baker Sports, Tivoli's House of Cards tonight, and that includes Committed to the Uncommitted. That is coming up tonight, 9 o'clock on ESPN 690, and we really want you to watch that on all the social media channels. We'll have cameras out at some of the games to give you some live action. We've really had some good live action on that show the last couple of weeks, so hopefully you can check it out if you haven't already. Yeah, it's interesting. You've got to survive the season to get to the postseason. I would say this, even with the guys that we mentioned, Trujillo, Hewlett, Reeser, missing games, they've actually won in their absence. So it hasn't derailed the seasons so far for some of these players, but we know how valuable that they will be toward the end of the year and also in the postseason. One other thing that jumps out to me, Coach, is the scheduling. Some of the schedules you can't avoid, but some of the teams it's just crazy scheduling, like almost too much maybe. Bartram Trail will play at Fleming. We know the schedule they've already played. I look at Creekside tonight. They're playing at Oakleaf. They've played a crazy schedule. Can you schedule too much? We see this with Trinity Christian, University Christian over the years. You want to be battle-tested, but can you be too battle-tested?
Well, and we talked to Coach McIntyre last week, and they played a pretty good gauntlet, and that might have helped them last week in overcoming that last drive to get to touchdown to beat Mandarin, who was the best team in the area as of right now, on paper, on the field, both, as far as mostly anybody involved in high school athletics thought. So I think that might have helped them. Again, they got a monumental game tonight because they've already got one district loss to Buchholz, and Oakleaf has a district win already. So to me, that's a really big game for Creekside tonight. They cannot go 0-2 in the district.
Here's some other good ones. How about Rains and Riverside? That's got to get your attention.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one over there in the backyard there at home. Rains has been, couple not so great big win last week against a really solid Trinity Catholic team, and then got basically manhandled the week before by a really good Mainland team. So this will be a good one for them. This will be a great lot of good players on the field, both sides, and should be a lot of fun. They ran the ball Riverside last week to really stick it to Ed White. Didn't throw it as much that people thought they were going to throw it with Gelsey, the wide receiver, and that they really ran the ball last week. And so that's going to be a big test tonight for the Range defense. Range real good in the back half, really good defensive line. So if they could continue to run the ball as well as mix the passing, they've got a chance. That's going to be a fun one over there in the backyard.
I'm going to give you a couple of teams that I think are a little sleepy in terms of people aren't talking about them, but here they come. Look out for them. And they both have some pretty good tests tonight that might get them on everybody's radar a little more. Episcopal is off to a pretty nice start. They go to Bowles. Can they hang with Bowles? Can they possibly pull an upset? That would certainly do it. And then Nice is now 3-2, Coach. Nice has piled some together, and they go to Sandalwood looking for another big win under Colin Drafts.
Yeah, I think both those. Episcopal, we'll get a really good feel for them tonight. Bowles, 2 big wins back-to-back after starting 0-3. And now Episcopal rolls in, who's really having a nice year, sort of like you said, under the radar. And really we'll see, like to follow that one to see how they do. I think Bowles defensively is really starting to play really well, especially the last couple of weeks. So should be a good one over there, but I think I'm going to lean to Bowles on that one based on scheduling. And then Nice,
one more
Coach
for you. Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Nice, Sandalwood's been down. A competitive game for 3 quarters that got stopped last week, but they just haven't scored any points. And we know Nice is going to score some points. That'd be a really nice win for Coach Draft and his guys tonight at Sandalwood.
All right, the last one. Speaking of scoring points, Inglewood has a new field. They better hope their scoreboard works really well because First Coast has been putting up a bunch of numbers, Coach, and they'll have an opportunity. A very fun offense to watch. They haven't been in the win column all the time, but this team is fun. They can high fly it and score almost at will.
This is the reason Inglewood wanted that bad field with the mud and everything with the rain this week in Jacksonville. It would have slowed that. It would have slowed that First Coast offense down, but they don't have that advantage anymore because that's a turf field now. So they're going to be lighting up and down that field and running up and down that field. They're going to score some points because they've scored a bunch this year offensively. Tisdale's really spread it out to all his receivers. Each week it's somebody different with 2 or 3 touchdown catches and really good football team. Hopefully defense are coming around. They're getting ready to get into some really big district play, not just started tonight, but down the road with Atlantic Coast and Fletcher the next couple weeks.
Wow, we got a fun game of the week, too, a kind of quiet game of the week that could be really good. Palatka at Tokoi Creek. That's our game of the week for the Friday Night Blitz, so our cameras will be there. We'll show you live action, 9 o'clock tonight on the Blitz Scoreboard Show as well, presented by Baker Sports, Nimnick Buick GMC, and Davoli's House of Cards. And then we'll have all the recap of the entire night in high school football week 6 on the Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. All right, Coach, we'll see you in a few hours and see how this evening shakes out week number 6 of the high school season.
All right, Brent. We'll talk to you later.
All right, that is Coach Kevin Sullivan, our Hall of Fame coach. He'll join us again 9 o'clock for the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts, let's put a bow on the show, and we'll have that Blitz Scoreboard Show for you later on tonight. Remember, Florida State football off this week, so they get a bye after starting the season 4-0, coming off that big Clemson win. But plenty of action all weekend long right here on ESPN 690. We're back from London to Jacksonville on a Friday evening right after this.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options, what we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing, but lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
More at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Hey y'all, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K this October 2nd to 8th at Timuquana Country Club. Be sure to check out college football and your Jaguars on the Jumbotrons in the Publix Tailgate Village, Birdie Beers at Circle K Party Porch, the ViStar Patriots Outpost, and more. Grab your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com to see the legends of the game compete for a spot in the PGA Tour Champions playoffs. Don't forget Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets today.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Shoulder pain can be caused by repetitive or overhead activities. Bursitis, tendonitis, and frozen shoulder are all examples of shoulder pain without a known injury. Alternating heat and cold therapies, massage, and stretching, and paying attention to your sleep style can help. One of the most important things you can do if you have shoulder pain is rest. You can also reduce inflammation in your body naturally through your diet. If your pain lasts longer than 2 weeks, or if you feel a pop or tearing sensation in your shoulder, the orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or to learn more, go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're in the middle of it now, the fall season, as we hit October on the campus of the University of North Florida. Swoop with the Ospreys, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, golf, swimming programs, all in mid-season form. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. And coming soon, it's men's and women's basketball. The schedule is out, plenty of home games to attend. Bring the family. Season tickets are for sale. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFOspreys.com. And swoop for the Ospreys all season.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Come on, admit it. You know you want a new Toyota, and in Jacksonville, that means you've got to go to the one and only family-owned and operated dealer for nearly 50 years, Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota has over 400 new Toyotas available. Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, Tacomas, they're all at Arlington, and you should be too. And at Arlington Toyota, your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time and miles. Why wait? Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Hey, welcome back. A few minutes to go here at Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We made it. We got it done from across the pond. Hopefully no issues all next week. We'll do it each and every night here because we're 5 hours ahead. So it's almost 11 o'clock here, London time, and obviously wrapping up the 5 o'clock hour back in Jacksonville. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We got high school football tonight. We've told you all about the Jags on Sunday. We've got you ready for it, and we'll continue to do so, by the way, with Action Sports Jacks primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47 Saturday night. Countdown to kickoff, 8:30, live from Wembley Stadium on Sunday morning, and we're the only TV station here in London, so we know where you should watch. We always know where you should watch. On the TV side, we know where you should listen, right here on the radio side. While everybody else is out gallivanting, we're doing our show.
How about that?
How about that? How about that? Just throwing shots here.
Sort of. It feels not like haymakers, more like whatever a soft punch is, but you know you're doing your job.
Yeah, a little jab.
Little jab. That's the word. Thank you.
That's it. That's what you were after.
Yep.
So anyway, we've got you covered. We do have Jags Social tonight at 7:30 on Fox 30. It's the newest show in our lineup. And college football tomorrow at 7 o'clock on CBS 47. So we've got a bunch of coverage for you all the weekend and into next week, which is going to be fascinating to watch how next week impacts the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll talk a lot about that next week. But the fact that they'll already be here acclimated, again, this is the tough day. This is a hard day to power through. If you're coming over here for vacation, this is a hard day. Never mind if you're going to play a football game that really matters on Sunday. The Jags have to get their body right. I will give this team credit. They embrace this. I don't hear any complaints. You don't see rolling eyes, nothing. They seem to like it. They seem to be embracing the idea of playing over here. And I think from a mental standpoint, that can only help the Jaguars. Split scoreboard show coming up tonight, 9 o'clock. What will we see from a baseball standpoint? Anything fun in this final weekend, Kasey, to get to a wild card? Can Cincinnati do it and make my father-in-law happy? They're a game back. Doesn't look likely. Will Houston hold off Seattle in this final weekend? The Marlins have a half-game lead over the Cubs for the final spot. Cincinnati's a game and a half back. And, again, a lot hinges on that suspended game that could be played on Monday. Anything fun? Anything going to happen? How about the Cubs, man? They've really blown it. They look like the United States in the afternoon today.
Pretty much. The Cubs do not want to be great. That's what we've learned from the playoffs so far. Reds aren't going to do it, Brent. I don't know who you need to contact, but you might just want to tell your father-in-law you've seen this one before. It's just not going to happen. Say because you're ahead of time in London, you already saw it, and you know it just isn't going to work. The Astros will hold off Seattle barely. Here's what you really need to watch for. My fantasy team in the championship, we are down 156 points. It is looking bleak for the boys, but I've picked up every guy pitching on Sunday for the chance to make history, Brent. So check it on Monday. Actually, check it on Sunday after you've watched the Jags do whatever it is they're going to do against Atlanta. Maybe you watch the Toy Story broadcast. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. And then check in with me around, 7 p.m. and see where I'm standing after 12 dudes that are pitching on my fantasy team. That's the real story we need to follow in Major League Baseball, Brent.
I can't wait to check back with you on that. One other note. Marlins, Cubs, Reds, anyone that makes it, they're all fantastic stories, even being in the mix.
100%.
It's pretty impressive. So that's kind of cool. I always like when that happens, but you get your clear-cut favorite. That is the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be very hard for anybody in baseball to beat them in a best-of-7. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. We'll see you all weekend long from London and back here tonight on ESPN 690 and our social media channels with the Blitz Scoreboard Show presented by DeVoley's House of Cards, Baker Sports, and Nimnick Buick GMC. Kasey Kuhrts will be back for that. Kevin Sullivan will be back for that. We'll have Week 6 of the high school football season from Jacksonville to London at 9 o'clock tonight. We'll see you in a few hours. Thanks for listening. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do ball.
Have a good night, everybody.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000